Good evening again, and welcome to NUFC Matters for Matchday Live. And it is the Carabao Cup, Newcastle United at home to Blackburn Rovers. And as always, joined by the lads to take you through tonight's game. Everybody enjoyed the West Ham game, which was surprising. Biggest show of last week. Over 8,000 people tuning in to watch us talk absolute garbage and collectively groan, moan, and celebrate together. So thanks for supporting it, and thanks for coming on and watching us again. But yes, Matchday Live, Carabao Cup. So without further ado, we'll just run through the team. Gillespie in goal, Manquillo obviously right back after his performance at the weekend. Kraft, Clark, Yedlin, Barleza, Sean Longstaff, Fraser, Almiron, Richie and Joe Linton completes that lineup. So bit of a change, Chris, from the weekend, which is what Steve Bruce promised, obviously giving people a chance to blow the cobwebs off and get involved. And Richie captaining the team. So what's your take on that opening lineup?
Yeah, I'll start with my fellow American. I'm a little surprised to see Yedlin in there. I thought he was on his way out. Maybe he hasn't secured a way out, and this is his shot window, because he's certainly nowhere near the first team. So we'll see. You know, he's had some flashes of brilliance, but mostly shows he's not up for playing with a team like Newcastle. So maybe this is his last time in the Newcastle uniform. I'm excited to see what Barlaser can do, because he's one of our sort of academy players that we want to see advance of the club. Longstaff, Sean, I sort of felt that he had a promising 2 seasons ago, and last year with injuries and such kind of took a step back. So if he really wants to cement his place as sort of like a number 10 in this club, he needs to show more in the cup than he did last year. And then of course I want to see the new boy Fraser, see if he's fit, or if he's just his first match since last March. So let's see what he's got. But I wouldn't expect him to be 100% in this game, and maybe we don't need him 100% for the cup, but see whether he can push on into the first team for the league.
Yep. Spenny Mark, what's your take on the team tonight, mate? Are you on mute again? You've done it again.
Not again.
Spenny mute, Mark. Go on, Spenny. There you are. Go on. Got you.
Kraft, centre half's a bit dodgy for me. I'm pleased Fraser's playing, and the young lad, and there's my centre midfield. That's about it, really.
Yeah, he's gone back to his usual formation by the looks of it. Big Joe up front.
I was going for 4-0. I think I'll go for 0-0 now.
Right, okay. So it has affected you a little bit than that. Okay. Nathan, your view on the starting lineup tonight?
Yeah, I think I'm pleased to see Gillespie get a run out in the net, so we can get a good look at him, because we're not really seeing anything of him yet, have we? For Kraft, I think, for me, the further away he is from the team, the better. I just don't rate him at all. Every time I've seen him play, he looks really shaky. For me, like if we've sent Kel Watts out on loan, I'd rather have kept him and played him for the cup games if we're going to play Kraft. But I guess they've spent a little bit of money on him, so they'll want to play him. Maybe that's why he's in there. Pleased to see Matt Ritchie as captain. That's a good shout, considering he was nearly on his way out. But I'm glad that he's staying. I think if there'd been like talk of like Richie playing sort of like on the right hand side of the midfield, or the right hand side of like the forwards kind of thing, but like if he's playing that position, I'd rather him play. Why can he not just play right back instead? I'd rather him play right back instead of the right backs that we've got, honestly. But yeah, looking decent team. Like Liam was saying on the last show, that second string looks a lot stronger than our second string last season. So you just hope they go out there and give him a tough time.
Yeah, Al Walid in your Starbucks studio. What's your take on tonight's team?
I just saw the lineup. On the back side, it looked fragile to me. But as I hear the conference, the press from Mr. Steve Bruce, he said it would be ridiculous if we didn't play or involve more players, especially the one they need to play the game. I don't know. Maybe I was expecting Wilson to play. I don't know why Fraser and Wilson will not be played together. Maybe just in a coincidence. Maybe he went. Maybe he went to, and he have formula different. Of course, it looked like for me different kind of formula. He went to try today. Let's hope. We didn't. Let's hope it won't be ridiculous perform today.
Yeah. Okay, Pete. I did want to. I want to give you the opportunity to promote your group as well. I forgot to do it the other day, so that's my bad. Just give a quick promotion of what you do, because you do your own little podcast as well, don't you, for the lads down south? Can you just give that a quick mention in case I forget it later on?
No, I appreciate that, Steve. Thank you. So we're Geordies down south. So the Midlands and further down to London. There's a group of us that have just got together really just by chance, just through seeing each other going to away games up and down the country. Turned into a bit of a WhatsApp chat, and then we turned it into a stream over Restart, and then it's just developed from there. So Clinton Ford is the main man. He's put it all together, and I know you know him well, Steve.
Yeah, he's a top man.
He is a great guy, and they spent a lot of time up in Newcastle as well, studying, so he knows the city really well. And then we've got Fumbi, who is for his sort of day job is a comedian, and he's an absolute comedian on the program, on the show as well. So it's great to be with him. And then we've got a load of other guys that come in and out, and we do some work with various other fans from other teams. So it's a good laugh. Really enjoy it. So once a week we're on. So yeah, please tune in. Good
stuff. What's your take on the lineup tonight, mate?
I've got to be honest. I'm disappointed, particularly on that back line. For me, and it's just my opinion, there's no reason why Jamal Lewis can't play tonight. He's 22 years old. We don't need to protect him, in my opinion. I know, Dummett's not fit at the moment, and we've only got one left back, but, he could play tonight. And, there's no reason why, in my opinion, Lascelles can't play either. I mean, these guys are young athletes. They should be able to play twice a week. Over the years, Newcastle, as his fans, we've sometimes been quite frustrated when we've played a weaker team, and we've said over the years, we should be going and putting a strong team out to ensure that we go through. But yet, we see this team, and for me, I'm just a little bit deflated. It's still good enough to win, but for me, I don't want to be taking any chances, because I want to be in the next round of the cup. With the teams potentially that we're playing in the next round, we've got a chance of really kicking on. So, the front line speaks for itself, and we expected that. I expected the goalkeeper change. But, yeah, certainly in defence, I'm a little bit disappointed with that. Yeah,
okay. Al Matthews, thanks for joining up as a member. $1.99, just click at the top to become a member. Thanks for all your support. Thanks to Al Walid. I've noticed you put £2 in the meter, mate. Thanks very much for that. Adam, over to you.
Yeah, I mean, we were all expecting changes. I'm really glad this isn't a Premier League lineup. I'll tell you that. To make 10 changes is a big deal. And again, we were expecting it. I agree with the other lads. That back line is just terrible. So that worries me a little bit. I don't see why Richie can't play left back, actually, to go with Nathan's point about him playing at right back. I don't know why he couldn't have played left back and then put one of the other 9 right backs in their natural spot instead of playing them at centre back. So, yeah, Jamal Lewis could have played tonight. I think, one of Hayden or Shelby probably could have played tonight. I'm actually a little bit surprised that Bruce didn't fancy going 4-4-2 again and sticking Callum Wilson up with Joe Linton just to roll the dice on that partnership against a middle championship team. But it is what it is. I'm glad that Fraser's out there. I'm glad that Almiron is out there. There's a lot of youth in that central midfield, with Sean and Dan Barlaser, both academy prospects, which I'm all for. But these rough and ready Championship teams might chew those lads up a little bit in the middle there. So a lot of changes, which is always worrying. But I think in reality, he's trying to protect that first 11 that played last weekend, for the game coming up this weekend. It's such a huge opportunity to start the league with 2 wins. So it'll be very interesting, a little bit of a makeshift team and a change of formation. But, good opposition to try it against, I suppose.
Yeah, okay. Got 15 minutes till kick-off. Most of us are watching it on the £10. Yes, the rip-off £10 one camera angle Carabao Cup live feed. Yeah, I hope the camera gets closer to the pitch than it is at the minute. We'll just see the back of Lee Ryder's bald head with this angle. Lee Taylor says favourite League Cup moment. Now this, when you throw a question in like this, it's usually easy to answer. But I've got to be honest. I'm glad I'm going to go last because I'm struggling to think of a favourite League Cup moment. Chris, over to you.
I'm gonna say before I was born when Super Mac was in the cup.
I've got one. I'm going to go second, Spenny. Norwich City beating Sunderland. Steve Bruce lifting the cup. That's my favourite League Cup moment. Spenny, over to you. And make sure you're not on mute. Oh, yeah.
I'm the same as you.
God, it comes to something. It comes to something when your favourite League Cup moment's Norwich. Yeah.
No, when I was born, but I didn't see it. It was when we played the final.
76, yeah. I mean, I was 4, so I can't remember it.
That's what I went to.
Yeah, Dennis Stewart's overhead kick. Yeah, all right, good stuff. At least you saw a goal at Wembley. I bet you didn't expect it was going to be another 25 years plus until you saw Rob Lee get the header. But yeah, League Cup memories, Nathan. We've got to be struggling for this, mate.
Yeah, do you know what? I was just thinking back, and it's nothing to do with well, I remember I went up for a game. I think I was about 11. It was up at St James's, and it was against West Brom, and it was the game that. Do you remember they had that fella? Was it Lee Hughes? And he went in prison, didn't he? Do you remember?
Yes.
He, I think it was he got out of prison, and it was his first game back, and it was against us. And I remember it going to It was on a Tuesday night. Went to extra time, and I think we lost. We either lost in extra time or we lost on penalties. But that was one of the few good memories I've got because I got to stay off school the next day. It took us ages to get home. So it's my favourite League Cup memory.
I'll believe you won't have one really because you're a relatively new convert to the black and white of Newcastle. So I'm going to answer this for you. I presume tonight is your favourite League Cup moment.
Good moment.
Yeah, is this your first League Cup match as a Newcastle fan?
Yeah.
so this would be your favourite League Cup moment. Dead easy. I knew I'd have the answer to that. Pete, you've had a bit of time to think more than the others. Have you got one?
Yeah, I've got a Newcastle one and then a general one. So my Newcastle, the only one I can really think of is Shirley Amiobi scoring at the Millennium Stadium against United. I think that was under Sir Bobby. I think if I'm right in thinking it, he made it 1-1, and I can only think. At the time that we've actually got a chance, we're back in the game, and then very quickly we went back in the game. But yeah, that was definitely one of my moments in the League Cup. We haven't had too many standout moments. And then non-Newcastle is Yaya Toure scoring an absolute rasper at Wembley against Sunderland. Always makes you smile seeing Sunderland concede a goal. So yeah, that one stands out for me.
Yeah, me too. Lee, thanks for taking out a membership. Much appreciated, mate. Adam, your favourite?
Mine was Yoshinori Muto scoring last season because that's a collector's item. We'll probably never see that again.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Of course, we lost the game, but c'est la vie. Nothing different there.
Yeah.
Cathal Sweeney comes up with a belter. Steve Watson versus Liverpool at Anfield in her lifetime. Yes, I remember that. I wasn't at that game, but that was a belter. And I think that was one of those. Was that where he gets he got to the goalkeeper and he like stubbed it and chipped it over the top of him. It was that one, wasn't it? Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, that's a good shout. That's probably one to remember. It's definitely a good quiz question. Thanks for that, Lee. Shall I start drinking wine possibly to get through this match? Says Stephen. Yes. Maybe you can turn my water into wine because I've got a feeling it might be one of those games, but you never know. James says, I'm not confident at all. Bruce said he was going to take it seriously. Ross Alexander says, I've just signed up. Thanks again to you and all the regular guests throughout the week. Great show and keep up the good work. Thank you very much from me and everyone here. We enjoyed doing it. Dennis Stewart was a Newcastle lad as well. Disgusting, says Bill, talking about the 76 Cup final. And yes, you're right. His brother, though, is a staunch Mackham. And he's still involved in the game at youth level. Paul Oxley, be a hard game this tonight, could go either way. Yeah, no Adam Armstrong, I don't think, in the Blackburn team, if I'm right.
No,
David,
very young team.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are under the age of 23. I think I saw Lee Ryder tweet, and one of the lads is 18, so must be close to have just making his debut. David, thanks for taking the membership out. Wonder who Shearer is willing on since he played for both clubs, says the anonymous one. Yes, yeah, you're right. This is called the Big Al Derby, I think, by somebody on Twitter today. Wayne is agreeing with most of the lads on tonight, saying that the back four looks dodgy as out. I think we might have to score 3 to win. Jeff says Wembley goal against Man City in 76 final, but Dennis bloody Stewart. Yes, he was obviously there. Edge of the box, Steve against David James. Mark, that's right. Yeah, it was a good. I remember it now. I've got visions of it anyway. Didn't we win 4-3 at Chelsea in the League Cup with Shola? Yes.
Yeah.
Good shout, Mark.
Oh,
really.
yeah.
Very, very good shout. Very good shout.
Excellent.
Great shout.
Yeah. It was. It just shows you, though, those kind of games don't live in the memory, like 5-0 against Man United and Barcelona at home 3-2. But that was a good game. Now you come to think of it, and good shout. That probably is the best one so far. If anyone else has got any suggestions, please text them in. Mason says Armstrong's on the bench. Yes, correct. Doug, thanks for taking the membership out. Thanks for your support. I know you've watched the shows all the way through. Man City away 2-0 win. Sissoko and Aarons. That was another recent one. Yeah, good shout. Newcastle versus Spurs semi 2 legs home win. Again, I think that was 76. So that was good. I live in Sweden, but I'm unable to find what channel I can watch the game on. Anyone who can point me in the right direction. We've paid for it, so obviously I'm not sure what you do when you're in a foreign country. Maybe message Chris on Twitter. Chris has got his Twitter name there up on the screen. If you have a look at. If you have a look at Chris, it's easy to find. Then he's got a link somewhere, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still looks like I'm in some guy's living room. So unless he turns the camera around onto
Chris isn't watching the match. He's watching some guy in his living room. Is that right?
We've got a new camera angle now. It's zoomed in on the centre circle.
All right, hold on. Oh yes, it is. Yeah. So Nathan's starting to get ready, you see, to start commentating on the game here. And it's, you're right, it's zooming in and see people moving around. I'm still not confident this is going to be a very good picture.
I thought we were going to move from the first thing, so at least that's an improvement, at least. At least there's someone behind the camera.
Andrew Wiley, thanks for joining. 3-2 Palace away, dumb at extra time. My recent favourite had a great night. Yes, another good shout. Brian saying he's ready to go, lads. Beer poured. Camera zoomed in, says NUFC 24. IPTV tonight, says Cattle. I'm not promoting that. Cattle is. It appears all the games tonight are on YouTube. And they're not £10, like some mugs have paid. The game is on my IPTV server. Don't know how, but it's on. Right, okay, lads. 5 minutes to go. Chris, prediction tonight, please. Now that you've seen the team.
I said before. 3-1. I don't know who the goals are going to come from, but I'm a man of my word, so I'll stay with 3-1 somehow.
3-1. Spenny, what about you?
1-0. Newcastle.
1-0. Okay, mate. And over to you, Nathan.
2-1 to us, I think. I don't think that defence of ours has got a clean sheet in it. So, 2-1.
Okay. Al-Walid, prediction for the game tonight?
3-2 Newcastle.
3-2. Oh, goals. Okay. Pete?
I'm going to go for some goals. I'm going to say 4-1 Newcastle. 4-1.
4-1. Good God. Right. Okay. Adam?
I think we'll go 2-1 or 3-1. We're definitely going to concede a goal with that back line. Depends what order the goals come in. I guarantee you, if they score first, it'll be a lot of panic. And what frustrates me a little bit just about the Bruce lineup is that he's risking just losing all of that momentum that we gained over the weekend. You know, if we go down and lose 2-0, 3-1, something like that today, just ruins all the good momentum. So I'm just stuck out in my head there that it's just sort of a strange thing to do when you've got such a good feeling around the club right now, is to go and change 10 players and risk losing. Just seems odd to me.
Yeah, I would agree. Welcome to Dan Fox. I'll come to you in a second. Seeing Alweed on Twitter today, instead of the Newcastle scouts see this video of you, they will sign you up better than Joe Linton. Yes, I'm not sure the rest of you saw that, but Alweed, you'll have to send us it, and what I'll do is I'll play it on the show on Sunday, just so people can see it. I'll wait till you're back on Sunday and we can have a look at that. But no, it was good. Very good. Good ball control. He's a bit of a player, Al-Walid. Dan, welcome. Prediction for tonight?
Hello. I think I'll go with you, Steve. 2-1. I can see them scoring. They've got a decent lineup out. They'll obviously put a stronger one out of those. So I'll go with 2-1 to Newcastle.
What's your take on the team? What's your take on the team tonight after you've seen it? Obviously, we knew there would be changes. Is there any players you're a bit concerned about being in that starting lineup?
Having given Fraser, I didn't really have much of a pre-season. I think this is a good opportunity to get him some game time, because it's going to be difficult to get him up to match sharpness if we can't include him in games like this. Dan's a good addition. I went to school with Dan. He's a good lad. So I think he's a good player to have in the squad. Rafa tried to introduce him a couple of cup games when he was in charge. Obviously had a great season last season. I just think there's maybe too many changes for my liking. I didn't expect him to make that many. But nevertheless, they've all got to have game time. So interesting to see how it gets on. Yeah, and a lot of people asking where did we pay the £10? Here you go. I'm just going to put it up on the screen now. Bear with us. That's the website, Carabao Cup Live, and you just pay the £10. And obviously teams are up on the screen now. I've got to say, it is a good picture. I'm just gonna increase it a little bit there. Yeah, it's to be honest, you're getting a better picture than you would on YouTube. Put it that way. If you're willing to pay the £10. It's not bad. The camera isn't just one static camera. It is actually zooming in. Good question, Jason, asking who's getting the broadcast money, the club or the EFL? I would imagine the EFL lads, wouldn't you? Yeah, EFL's getting it. It's not going to Newcastle United. I just think it's a rip-off. It's a missed opportunity by Carabao. I mean, you know, genuinely speaking, you would probably pay a tenner as an adult to get into this game if you were going to the match. So to charge a tenner to watch it on your laptop is bang out of order. Like, really is. I cannot understand it. Anyway, we're getting into the game. I presume in the Carabao Cup we're still going to have the Black Lives Matter taking the knee. I'm just waiting for it now. As the referee's there, he's just counting the players. The players are now obviously all on the pitch and getting ready to get this game underway. Looks like it's a Blackburn Rovers kickoff. Blackburn are wearing an absolutely horrendous strip. From what I can see here, until it gets zoomed in, it looks like a bit of a Spanish strip, doesn't it?
Blue shoulders, isn't it? Yeah.
So we're taking the knee as expected. Referee and officials and players alike, all for the Black Lives Matter campaign, and that's it. Referee's just finishing off. Signal to the goalkeepers, Blackburn Rovers to kick off.
Oh no, Steve, mine's kicked off before yours.
Oh, fantastic! That's a great start. So now you're a minute ahead of me. Or you're 30
like
seconds
20
ahead.
seconds. Now I'm on 20 seconds. 21.
Okay. All right, mine froze. So I'm not seeing anything at the ball. There we go.
Did you pay a tenner?
I did, mate. I did.
Right, hold on. I'm going to refresh my. To go back in and see whether I can get it. So, Nathan, if anything happens in the next 2 minutes, let us know.
Yeah, it's just Blackburn in possession right now. Just knocking it across the back.
I think it was really stupid of them not to allow this internationally.
Mine's
what a shame to not give it to international fans as well. You know, even though it's It just EFL. I mean, I would have paid the tenner to watch it, no doubt.
Somebody tweeted as well, or it was someone on the show. They said that they would have preferred like revenue from this to gone to help out like the lower league clubs that will be lacking the gates and stuff. I think that would have been a good idea as well, to be honest.
Yeah, agreed.
Blackburn in possession still.
Yeah.
Watch us have 25% possession in this game now.
Yeah. Watch us be the counter-attacking team at home.
Yeah, well, playing with two deep-lying midfielders too, isn't he? He's not really got a midfielder that's going to push on.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
The thing that frustrates me about the defensive line is, you know, you've got Clark that's not played for 6 months, so you would have thought they'd have had a regular centre back to support him and see him through the game, rather than him being the main centre back and then being supported by right back centre back. It just doesn't make sense. You're not helping him through the game at all.
You got to wonder if Lascelles is going to play the last 25, 30 minutes for Clark, because he's not played in so long. But if you're going to do that, then why not play Lascelles from the start? You know, I think it's a bit of a strange decision that to put Clark in and not play a centre back next to him.
Definitely. Agreed.
It's a goal kick for us, and it looks like we're just giving back possession straight away again. I don't think we've had the ball under control yet. 2.5 minutes in.
Very
good shift by Gillespie though. Reached the halfway line. It's always interesting to see a goalkeeper take a goal kick for the first time, because we've had some absolute nightmares in goal in the past who couldn't kick a ball straight. But at least he can do that.
Yeah.
I'm on 2 minutes 40, by the way, Nathan. Where are you?
2:50. So yeah,
I'm bang on 3 minutes. Bang on 3 minutes.
You're on 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Why's your £10 get that and we get this? It's
I've no idea.
Is it London priority? It is, isn't it?
It must be.
I'm not London. I'm Midlands.
Oh, okay.
Midlands priority.
Midlands priority. That's what it is.
It's further behind the farther we go. I'm in between you and Steve, so it sounds about right.
Yeah.
Joe, the internet's not that good. That's what it is. We're just, we're not the best.
I was going to say the way.
Mine's certainly not, because mine's still buffering on 2 minutes 57. So I'm trying to get it up on my phone now.
Christ.
The way we've set up is it's like we're playing a Man City or a Chelsea, and we're just trying to soak up possession. We're playing against an understrength Blackburn team. We should be pressing them as high as possible up the pitch, and this is what frustrates me. This is why we should be playing more of first team players, because you've got the opportunity to bring some of these lads on if you're winning 2 or 3-0 and you play the stronger team to give them a run out, but. I don't get it. We're at home, but it seems like we're playing as an away team.
Disappointing there. We got the ball under control for the first time in 4 minutes, and then Yedlin just smashes it into the middle of the field. Really bad ball, to nobody. Gives it away again.
Big thanks to Paul McVeigh and AJ Naya for becoming members, and a big welcome to 2 Chaos 2, who's a Blackburn Rovers fan. He says, "Whatever happens tonight, hope you have a strong season, lads." Thanks very much, mate. All the best to you as well. Good luck. Dave Richardson agreeing with us. We have to turn that volume down. Who has got that volume?
I'm sorry, mate. That's me, Steve, because my stream's just buffering all the time, so I'll put it on my phone instead. Is that better?
No problems. That's better, mate. Cheers. We'll get shut down for that. Don't worry. We only discovered that the other day. Never mind.
Blackburn have had 83% possession.
Very strong from us.
I would ask Barsler, where he play in the field? Barsler.
Centre midfield.
Centre midfield, yeah.
Plays instead of Shelby, always.
Yeah.
So it's not a great start by Newcastle, it's got to be said. He has changed it around a little bit. He's got a couple of players in who you would imagine he's looking at trying to shift as opposed to keep a hold of. I am surprised Atsu didn't start tonight, especially with the news that Newcastle are trying to get rid of him. It's a strange selection by Steve Bruce. It's got to be said. And like the lad said right at the start, the back four is the most concerning thing, especially playing with a new goalkeeper who's possibly not used to. Who's definitely not going to be used to this setup. And it doesn't bode well with 83% possession in the opening 6.5 minutes. But still Newcastle 0, Blackburn Rovers 0. All to play for still.
I'll pay for it.
You've paid for it now.
Stand up.
Could it be that Atsu is maybe close to leaving, which is why he's not playing potentially?
Possibly. Good shout. Could well be.
Because obviously Liam was saying there's clear interest in him from Celtic and maybe one or two others. So it could well be that it's quite close and they don't want to risk it. Oh, Almiron's down the left-hand side, breaking through.
He's away.
No one in the box though.
What minute you was on?
Just
7
gone
minutes
7.
now.
7, yeah.
Oh, well, I'm well behind you. So let us know when the score, so watch me phone.
Yeah. Pete, we will go with Pete because Pete's slightly ahead. So Pete, you just take the lead on that. We can comment on stuff as we go. Obviously, that's always the problem when we do these things. We're always going to be somebody's going to be slightly ahead.
Yeah.
Our Blackburn fan tonight says, look out for Dolan up top. Tricky little player. Don't underestimate him or Adam Armstrong if he comes on. Armour scored 17 goals for us last season and has 2 this season so far. Yes, we know Armour well, of course, being an ex-Newcastle player. Is someone playing Operation? Obviously, I think it was Dan just trying to sort his phone out. Anyone got a link for a stream? No chance I'm giving Ashley a tenner. Rather buy some pints. It's not going to Ashley, this money, by the way, Aidan. It's actually going to the Carabao Cup. Commentary at last, apparently, which is obviously just kicked in on this £10 stream. Does Bruce see Kraft as a centre-half long-term? It's a good question.
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not.
No.
Definitely.
I hope not, yeah.
Please no.
Not even a footballer, mind.
You can't even play a wing back, never mind. You can't even play a wing back, never mind centre back. So
Can't even play football.
Other games in the Carabao Cup tonight: Gillingham 0, Coventry 1, Middlesbrough 0, Barnsley 2, Millwall 3, Cheltenham 1, Reading 0, Luton 1, Derby and Preston are goalless. Bradford are getting hammered at home 3-0 by Lincoln City. Fleetwood 1-0 up against Port Vale. Newport and Cambridge United's goalless. Oxford and Watford are playing each other tonight. Oxford, of course, 1-0 up. Newcastle, of course, as we're watching, still 0-0 against Blackburn Rovers, and West Ham 0, Charlton 0. Other games tonight include Bournemouth Crystal Palace and Burton against Aston Villa, which is the Sky match, and the Leyton Orient, Plymouth Argyle, Morecambe Oldham, and Rochdale Sheffield Wednesday.
Good ball through to Fraser.
He's in.
Gone for a corner. Great knock through for Fraser. A little 1-2. Fraser's up the intensity in the last minute or so. Nice little ball through from Almiron over the top. Fraser gets a touch on it, but the defender comes in and clears it for a corner. Good little move. Up until that point, there was nothing from Newcastle, and Fraser just seems to have upped the intensity that last minute or so and got a corner. He's just about to put it in.
In with his right.
Joe Linton goes up, doesn't get anything on it, gets cleared out, but then headed back in straight to the keeper. And the keeper
Looks like we're coming into it a little bit, which is good. Couple of breaks there.
Yeah. Now Blackburn on the break.
Almiron snapped in half there.
Yeah.
Just what we need, a big injury as well tonight. Watch out for that.
Oh, it wasn't bad. He just got lifted halfway up into the air.
It was on the bench. You didn't know.
Murphy, I'm sure we'll see Murphy tonight.
Is he on the bench,
Yeah.
Who else is on the bench?
Atsu's on the bench. One or two others.
How's Fraser doing?
Doing all
Good
right.
little run there from Fraser, actually, wasn't it? It was a good move. Led to a corner.
We just upped that intensity just a little bit. It just made the difference, and that's what we need. We need the intensity's not been good enough. For a Premier League team, you've got players that have played regular football in the Premier League starting this game tonight, and the intensity's not been there at all. Blackburn have been a tease. They've been able to play the ball across the back. At some points, the goalkeeper's been out 20, 25 yards up the pitch with the ball at his feet and not being pressed at all. Ball in the box. Oh, Blackburn should have scored. Just gone past the post. Poor defending in the box.
It's too easy down that right-hand side, wasn't it, there, completely?
Far too easy. Ball comes in, player comes on the end of it, not sure who it is, and should have scored, really. It was a golden chance.
So this is the problem, isn't it? When you play these lower league teams, if you don't kill them in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, they're going to grow in confidence. We see it every year with Newcastle. Oxford United did it to us. Everyone did it to us. You got to knock them out early.
I find it strange tonight that Bruce has decided to play Manquillo at left back.
Yeah,
but
me too.
This is it. This is where, a 22-year-old Jamal Lewis should be playing this game. There's no reason why he cannot play this game. There's no reason why at 22, with his athleticism, that he can't play 2 games in a week. He'll have 4 days after this to rest before the game at Brighton. There's no reason why he couldn't play.
I totally agree with,
It's just a shame, really, because now you're asking a player that's a right back to play left back. He's clearly not comfortable in that position, and it just disrupts the defensive line.
We've got a comment there from Emma Griffith, says definitely ahead of us. Yeah, just stick it in the post. Stick it in the post just so we can all get ready to cheer. Please do. This is the problem with these kind of games, unfortunately.
So it's been disappointing so far. The ball's been going up to in this kind of area now up for Joe Linton. If you're comparing that to Saturday, the running that Callum Wilson was doing along that front line, pressuring the centre halves and when they're in possession, and you just see Joe Linton just like sort of trotting backwards and forwards. It's really, you think this is an opportunity for him to really, like, if you were him, you'd be thinking to yourself, I'm going to prove a point here. I'm going to prove everyone wrong, but he doesn't seem to have that drive for me at all.
Very strange character.
Yeah, Donald Baines is just asking how the performance is so far. It is flat. I think that's the best way to describe it, lads, isn't it?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, not composed in possession whatsoever compared to Blackburn, who are keeping hold of the ball fairly well when they get it and moving it around really nicely compared to us.
I posed the question, we're going to take this as serious as we did the FA Cup last year, but judging by the first 13 minutes of that I've got on my screen so far, it doesn't look that way.
Definitely not. Should have had Al-Walid on right back, says Trulls. Definitely. I would have played Al-Walid. Al-Walid, you could have played tonight.
Yeah. Actually, I just have an spasm from the playing list.
I play in front of Kraft any day of the week, Al-Walid.
I think we all could play in front of Kraft.
You haven't seen my control, mate.
Terry Ross,
okay, nearly all of us.
Terence Ross saying Blackburn looking organised. They are young team. They are looking well, which is pleased. 2 Chaos says, how's the game going? Either side dominant early on. Blackburn have had 83% possession in the first 5 minutes. It tells you how it's going. But haven't really done a great deal. Possession's all very well, but you've got to be able to do something with it.
Yeah.
This is the problem with having those youngsters in the middle there. It's just we need someone who's going to come and take control of the game now. And without Shelby out there or without Max and Maximum out there, I don't know who's going to take control of the game. Richie and Fraser can probably help with that, but we're just limited in leadership out there at the minute.
Yeah. Is Wilson's not even on the bench, is he?
No striker on the bench. No striker at all on the bench.
Wow. What about Hendrick? Where's Hendrick? I didn't see the subs. I seen the team, but I didn't see the subs.
He's on the bench.
Hendrick's on the bench. It's very clear that Matt Ritchie and Fraser are the ones that are banging out the orders and controlling the team and leading as by example. Everyone else
they're playing on the wings, though, aren't they? You need someone in that middle. You're not going to get that from Almiron, Barlaser, or Longstaff tonight in that spine of the team. That spine of the team needs to be far more solid than what it looked like from the lineup. Big problem.
Almiron seems to be playing more on the left than anything. I know Fraser's meant to play on the left, but he seems coming out left to receive the ball a lot. And it's meaning that Fraser's having to sit deeper. So I'm not sure how it's working there. But I think it might have been yourself, Adam, mentioned about Wilson and his movement on Saturday and how Joe Linton's not doing the same. And this is the thing. Wilson has the ability to stretch defenders and pull them out onto the wings and channels and move players around. Joe Linton's just so static and he doesn't work off the ball. Hold on, 20 yards out, Blackburn, no, well wide. Poor effort. But he had a lot of
gave the ball away there
spot.
far too easily. We worked really hard to get it back. And then Longstaff and Valles got muddled up with each other and just gave the ball away again.
The way it's going, we could be on the end of a canny defeat here, like if we didn't change things up.
We need to wake up. We really do need to wake up. Otherwise, we're going to get punished. It's like we're waiting for them to do something before we get the game going. So, yeah, poor.
I think we're really missing Hayden in the middle. Like the amount of running that Hayden does and getting stuck in and on first and second balls every time. Like we're really missing that at the minute.
Some sad news coming in about a former player who's passed away, 84 years old. Malcolm Scott, who was a local lad born in South Shields, cricketer and footballer, as a lot of people were back in the 1950s. He was signed in 1955, joined as cover for Bob Stokoe just after those fantastic FA Cup winning years. His debut was in January 1957. When he was drafted in as a late emergency replacement, and Newcastle crashed 6-1 at Old Trafford to the Busby Babes of Manchester United. Better days were to come though. He went on to make 26 appearances for Newcastle, scored 2 goals against Leeds United and against Jack Charlton in that game. Leaving United in 61, he then went on to Darlington, York. But Malcolm Scott, as I say, a local lad, passed away. Our thoughts are with his family.
Yeah, indeed.
Absolutely.
100%. Definitely.
Aston Villa getting beat.
Yeah, Burton has scored.
That's good news.
After 2 minutes.
Makes me feel a bit better about our game.
Just a little bit.
What do you all think of Grealish signing a new contract? I thought that was a bit unexpected.
Well, it'll have a relegation clause in it, though.
I think that's to protect them, innit? Basically,
Yeah.
so protect Aston Villa, so they can say we'll put a release clause in there, X amount of money, so no one can come in and take them for a cut price or anything like that. I think that's what that's for. We've done it before, haven't we? With many players, Andy Carroll being one, signed a new contract, and then how many other months later was away. It's happened with a few players, so I think that's what that's all about.
I was saying on Twitter that with his new contract, he can finally afford some shin guards.
Oh, Joe Linton's in. Joe Linton's in. Oh, poor touch. Poor touch.
Didn't expect anything less.
Poor touches. It was really nicely played, Almiron. Tried to play him in. Had time to take a touch and shoot. And
Does all the hard work and then he can't finish.
Great ball in by Almiron, but then it was just like a donkey's touch, really. It pulled it away from the defender, but it went so far away from him. It's got to have Steve Bruce pulling his hair out, because Steve Bruce had so much faith in him last season. Obviously, he's not his first choice at the moment with Callum Wilson, but yeah, disappointing that after good work by Almiron.
I would have played
20 minutes.
I would have played that Fraser. Looking at it.
Yeah, 20 minutes gone, just over 20 minutes gone now, and it's still Newcastle United 0, Blackburn 0. Newcastle really having the first chance there with Joe Linton.
Yeah. A free kick on the left-hand side, right on the touchline. Fraser nicks the ball past one of the players, gets brought down. So, yeah, hopefully Richie or Fraser can swing this in. Looks like it's going to be Fraser. Probably about 25, 30 yards out. Ball comes in. Cleared by Blackburn. Richie's got on the edge. Gets deflected. Corner ball.
Not
a bit more enthusiasm.
They're closing us down really, really quickly every time we get the ball.
Need a bit more enthusiasm for those free kicks and corners. Need to raise your level up a bit. You're commentating.
The reason, look, I'll be honest with you. Our corners have left a lot to be desired. I have to say, considering we've got guys who are up there that can win the ball in the air, we don't benefit from it. Ball comes in, wasted, out for a goal kick. Literally in a decent area, but nobody jumps for it. It misses everybody and then just trickles out for a goal kick. And that's why I don't get excited about corners. That's exactly why.
This stream is naff. Even when you refresh it, right? When you refresh it, it doesn't catch up. When I refresh it, I should at least be gaining some seconds and catching up with Pete, but I'm clearly not. It's
you look further behind.
Well, yeah, no, I'm back at the kickoff.
I've got the Troopers on.
No, hold on, we're playing West Ham.
Last season, Steve. Last season. it's free out to the town. What minute you on? I'm on 21:38, 21:40.
22:07.
21:45.
Oh, hey. We're all over the place, aren't we?
Pete, where are you? Where are you now?
22:12.
Oh, I'm ahead of you now. I'm on 22:19.
Oh, what's going on?
Get in.
George, now.
Oh,
He's in the future.
That was a great challenge, by the way. I'm not sure. You've got to forgive us because I've got no idea who these Blackburn players are. They're all just out of their prams, basically. They've all been sucking biker dummies this week, and now they've suddenly found themselves at St James's Park playing Newcastle United. But Newcastle's suddenly starting to come into this game. Great ball in, and again, nobody there. Joe Linton should be in that box. That was the bone of contention last season. No Joe Linton in the box equals no goals, and that's the part of his game which he looks at this moment in time. He still hasn't improved it.
Steve,
so frustrating.
This is why I don't think he'll play much this season, and we have to remember. I know that we as fans at the time got really frustrated over the season because he played a lot of games where we as fans thought, why is he even starting? But actually, when we got to restart, Steve Bruce stopped playing him, and he was only coming off the bench. And I think it got to a point where Steve Bruce had enough. And I don't believe that he's going to play many games. I think he'll play these cup games, but in the league, as long as Wilson's fit, I still think that potentially we've got the potential to get another striker in. I honestly think we're looking beyond him now, 40 million or not, because he you know what? Even if he gave us a little something to suggest that he's going to improve or he could improve, we could work with that. But he's given us nothing. He's putting in the same performances he was putting in November, December, and that's why people are losing faith in him, because he doesn't show any ability to suggest that he's gonna change from what we've already seen. And he's already been.
For me, he played one good game, and that's when one decent, great, good game for me was when he played out left.
Free kick.
That was
free kick. Free kick from Newcastle there. Richie took it from just inside the Blackburn half. The ball was a good one, delivered well, and the header just wide. And Newcastle close to taking a lead there. Not sure who it was. They say the camera angle is horrendous. Whoever was wearing number 17, I think it's Kraft. Yeah, Kraft got in with a header, but it was comfortably wide. Didn't test the keeper. But
Joe Linton there for that free kick. Like his position there in that free kick, he was like right on the edge of the area, sort of like running towards it, like almost pretending as if he's like going to run towards the ball. A free kick from that position is going like deep into the box. So he's not even like putting himself in the right position at all to even look like attempting to get.
That's why you want your striker in it.
He was dropping. He was so deep. It was like just at the edge of the area. Like the ball's not going to go there, is it? It's something all worked on, and the ball's going to be going right to the back of the area. But yeah, just that's what I mean. I said that on the show the other week. Like, it doesn't seem like he puts himself in the position to like. It seems like he puts himself in the position to do like the bare minimum all the time. It's really like it really gets on my nerves.
Emma Griffin asking who is Rovers manager. It's Tony Mowbray, who when he gets across to the dressing room at halftime, he'll be disappointed to hear Paul's news that Borough are out. Middlesbrough now dip out, joining Sunderland, falling at the first hurdle. £40 million. I wouldn't give you 40p, says Ian, with regards to Joe Linton, who I am giving a bye to this week. He really is a proper donkey, says Mr. Soze. What was the thing that made us pay 40 million for him? Who scouted him? Honestly, I have no clue what his talent is. He's not a centre forward. I think you're talking about Joe Linton, David. Yes. Again, it's not looking good for Joe. It's not looking good for Big Joe. Ball
centre forward, hasn't he?
No, he's not.
I think
Ball into the Blackburn half again. Anyway,
I think Joe Linton is more talented like Ashley.
I think you're right, Chris. I think you're right. Anyway, Newcastle certainly pushing forward again here. Comfortably collected though by the Blackburn goalkeeper, who takes a long kick, goes over the halfway line, but comfortably dealt with by the Newcastle back four. Subsequently, the midfield, and Gillespie takes it in his own area.
You know, Steve, how long did we get for you though on this? How long does Joe Linton get on this new free pass for you? How long do you give him?
I've got to try and be fair, mate. But I'm not gonna go back to what I was doing last season, where I was slating him every week, and people were hammering us on Twitter for it. I am actually going to be fair to him tonight. It's the Carabao Cup. He's been put in a team which, let's face it, is not a great team. It's unfair to judge him. It's unfair to judge him now. I should set a target, shouldn't I? Let me say I'll judge Joe Linton after the first 10 games. That includes cup games. So let me see where Joe Linton is in 10 games time.
Steve, you'll not change your mind, mate. I'm telling you, 10 games. Oh God. How much is paid for
none of us want him to be like.
Yeah,
none of us want him to play like this. We'd love it if he banged in 20 goals in a season, but you just need to see that effort, don't we? I mean, it's bare minimum.
Look, as Geordies, we're back every player that comes through the door, don't we? Until we're given reason to doubt them, and he hasn't given us much reason to back him.
Good tell
so that's
Newcastle in the box here, ball squared back.
Fraser.
Anybody there?
Fraser.
Oh please! Oh,
no one there.
This is the story of
by Almiron. A lovely one.
It's a story of the first half hour here that Newcastle are putting the ball in the box and there's nobody there. Sounds familiar. Terry Ross says he's never been a number 9. Then again, how he actually became a footballer is a mystery. Mike Stewart says a lot of admiration for Joe Linton. If I could have masqueraded as a professional footballer for a year or two and earn all that dosh, I would have done it too. Perfect opportunity for Joe Linton this game.
You know, the craziest thing about the Joe Linton transfer, just going back to the point someone made earlier, is that the 40 million alone is bad enough, right? But if you think about the fact that he signed a 6-year contract and he's on about 70, 80 grand a week, it means that Newcastle have actually committed over £20 million just in wages to Joe Linton. So if they're gonna be able to shift him, which I don't think they're going to be able to, even if he's crap for another 5 years, Steve, we're going to pay him close to £20 million to be crap, which is a bigger issue for me than the transfer fee. And we're going to have to register him every window, it's going to be a nightmare.
We've seen that from players, haven't we? Well, we've paid over the top on wages, and they've just sat about and not wanted to leave because they weren't going to get it anywhere else. They didn't seem interested in playing. They just were happy to pick up the pay packet.
Yeah. Half an hour from approaching the half
days ago.
Still 0-0.
Yeah. A few days ago, I read Fenerbahce from Turkey was interested in Joe Linton, but I was.
Can you speak to him, please, Al-Walid, and ask him to take him?
That would have to be a loan, I would think. I would think that would be a loan. I don't think anyone's going to pay us 15-20 million for him. That would have to be a loan.
Realistically, in today's market, right? How much do you think Joe Linton's worth?
10 million.
10 million, I mean.
Yeah.
10 million.
10 million. Yeah, right now. Right now, 10 million.
No one's going to pay us that though.
Without the 40 million pound price tag, without take that out of the equation, you still think 10 million?
That's with for me. That's with the 10 million, the 40 million price tag. No one's paying us any more than 10 million. And probably even you're looking at what we paid for Muto. Really, we paid what 9.5 or something like that for Muto. You're looking around that price because they're of similar ability, if we're honest. But I think Adam's right. The way that we start to manoeuvre Joe Linton out the club is via a loan. And if he was to go to Turkey, for example, and score a few goals, then you're likely to get 10 to 15 million from one of the Turkish clubs, and then that's where you cut your losses. Because there are Turkish clubs out there that will be able to not match his wages, but certainly pay close to it. But if we're smart, we don't see he doesn't see a third year, in our opinion. In my opinion, if we're smart about it, he doesn't see a third year, and we need to either loan him out after this season, or if someone's willing to pay something for him, anything,
40 pence.
We just got our losses, because the money that we'd save over the course of his contract would, it would kind of balance itself out, really.
Yeah,
neat bit of play by Blackburn, but sniffed out again by Newcastle. It's you can tell by the amount of people talking about Joe Linton on this live broadcast that the game isn't particularly very good. There's nothing actually happening, to be honest. It's a bit like a training game. Newcastle going through the motions, and Blackburn trying the best. But I've got to be honest, what I've seen of Blackburn in this opening half hour, unless there's a sudden change, I can see this going to penalties. I really can. I don't think there's not going to be a multitude of goals in it anyway. A couple of other comments. David Little says it's not Joe Linton's fault. They've tried to make him a striker, but his work rate is shocking. It's work rate which is his big issue, I do feel. I don't understand how he can't score. We have a decent coach. We need to see some work from him. Or is he just incapable of playing in the Premiership? Of course, he's played against lower league teams. It took him a long time to basically get get goals against lower teams in the FA Cup last season. Richie's final ball's not great tonight, says Gary McCalbine. Wilson's not playing, ice cream, unfortunately. Tyler's obviously watching some kind of sublime version of this match, because he thinks Joe Linton scored. As Gillespie gets down to the feet of Richie and collects the ball once again. So still 0-0 in the game. Still 0-0 in the game, and still all to play for. And just out of interest, you do get these notifications when you run a YouTube channel every now and then. And just on the bottom of the Liam Kennedy one, I've got Kate Soto, who says, contact me if you want to be my boyfriend. And Dawn Craig, who says, oh yeah, do you love me? I'm pretty sure they're for you, Liam, not for me. So if you want to contact Kate Soto and Dawn Craig, I don't think your lass will be too happy, but yeah. Joking aside, it's spam that you get on YouTube, believe it or not.
I thought our middle two in the Barlaser and Longstaff looked so flat-footed. You see that chance that Blackburn had a few minutes ago. Barlaser just gave it all away, and they just look so static between them. When we don't have someone like Hayden in there, it really starts to show, I feel like. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Sean Longstaff's not a centre midfielder. He's a number 10. I don't particularly think he enjoys playing in centre midfield. He doesn't like the dogged work going back. He likes to get forward. He likes to get on the end of things, arriving late in the box. And we saw that against Bournemouth. His performance before he got injured was exactly the type of performance we want to see from Sean Longstaff in that number 10. Obviously, the issue with that is that you've got Almiron that can play that role. Very, very different players. But I just don't think he's a centre midfielder, an out-and-out centre midfielder, to be fair. Oh, apparently we scored.
To me, Sean Longstaff has done the Shaw syndrome, where he's a different player under Bruce than he was under Benitez. He had a cracking season under Benitez. And so
Newcastle through 1-on-1. It's a chance. It's a goal. Newcastle United 1-0.
Don't tell us it's Joe Linton.
Out of nothing, and it's Ryan Fraser on his debut for Newcastle United.
Yes.
What an absolute finish that was, by the way.
Let me just watch this.
Just go to goalkeeper's legs, wasn't it?
It was Almiron who put the ball through. Ryan Fraser broke the defence, and it just clipped the bottom of the goalkeeper's legs, but he took the shot from the edge of the box. Ryan Fraser on his debut for Newcastle United, and what a finish that is.
Out of nothing.
Pete, I heard you say that, Pete. I heard you say we've scored.
I'm gonna stay quiet from now on. However, that ball from Almiron, is underrated. That ball, that switch play,
Slide
diagonal
rule.
pass through. It was fantastic. Just a
If that was
fantastic
De Bruyne, that
ball.
would have been raved about, wouldn't it?
Well, if it was through to Joe Linton, we wouldn't be saying 1-0 right now. And that's not me being horrible. He's been in those positions before and missed it.
Yeah.
But there's a cool finish from Ryan Fraser. Great for him to score. And to be fair, he's probably been the best player on the pitch. He's only 36 minutes in. He's looked like he's really up for this game. We win.
So that's both of our new boys. That's both of our new.
That's three. That's there. Yeah. We just need Lewis to score, don't we?
Best £10 I've ever spent this.
Christian will be good.
Steve,
seeing that Lewis scored, Steve.
Steve, seeing your reaction there was like watching 12-year-old Steve celebrate that. That was awesome.
Being a Blackburn.
Do you know what was great? We'd all been told it scored, and we all had the delayed reaction of pretending they hadn't. And then when it went in, we were all like, "Yes, get in."
No, I seriously haven't seen it. I'm farthest behind everyone. I think I paid the 10.
What minute are you on, Chris? Are you? Oh, they're still not scored for you, Chris. I don't know.
Right now, 37 even.
37. Oh, well, you're ahead of me. You're ahead of me. So.
So that puts a completely different, perspective on the game now. Newcastle, a little bit more confident and stroking the ball around. Blackburn obviously now have to go for it. I saw the comment from our Blackburn fan who's watching us tonight saying that wait till they get Armstrong on. Of course, it's not over. Lee Richardson pointing out, though, that's first 3 goals all from new signings. And I mean, that's not something that's gone unnoticed, lads. It's, when you buy quality, they do tend to produce.
Have we seen much of Gillespie to get an opinion on him?
He's not had anything to do, has he?
No, he hasn't really. No.
He's had a haircut.
Good kick. Oh, he did a good kick, didn't he?
Oh, he's a cracking keeper, Alan. If he can kick the ball, that's great.
I wouldn't mind having Armstrong back now. I don't know if we've got a buyback clause in there, like it's very fashionable these days. But he'd make a great forward partner for Wilson or Carroll, wouldn't he? Or he can play on the wing as well, so he'd be very versatile, very useful now.
Do you know the partnership that? Sorry, mate. Go ahead, Steve.
No, go on.
I was just gonna say it, like one of the best partnerships I believe we've had in a while, other than obviously Barr and CCA. I mean, they didn't work well together, but they got the goals. Was a Bellamy and Shearer, where you had one player that didn't have the legs no more and one that did, and for me that's something that we've probably missed for a long time. There's someone with a pace and then someone with the likes of Andy Carroll that can hold the ball up and knock the ball through, like Shearer used to do. So that would be my take on things.
Armstrong must have played 100 games for Blackburn now. I know 75, 100 games. He's got a good scoring record, so he'd be a good one to have back, actually.
Didn't have a really good one at Newcastle. Lots every time he come on.
The thing with Armstrong though is that there's still that question mark: is can he play at that level in the Premier League? And I think that's always been the question mark. So it'd be nice to have him back because he was at the club and came through the academy. But for me, not for me, because we're not in that position to have someone and be can't he do it and take the risk, because we would pay a hell of a lot more now to get him back than what we got from the sale, and that's at the moment in this current market. Mike Ashley doesn't do that. He doesn't pay more for a player from what he sold. So for me, I don't think it's the right option. I think we've got a whole
new Mike Ashley now. Don't worry about what he used to do. We've got a whole new Mike Ashley now. He's doing
Newcastle are through again on the attack. Bad ball in, well cleared by the Blackburn defence.
Corner ball.
Again, corner ball. Fraser again causing all kinds of nuisance. Almiron linking up well again with Fraser. It's looking like a really good partnership. That Almiron's certainly got a point to prove today as well. But definitely. Fraser looking sharp, very, very quick. That's a positive. So we've got a corner.
Can't wait till we can get all of them together. Like Saturday's new lads.
Fraser's taking the corner, hand in the air, corner in. It's delivered, cleared easily by the Blackburn defence. No sign of Joe Linton anywhere. Newcastle win the ball back though. Clever by Manquillo, who's linked up with Fraser. Fraser using his strength, turns, ball back again. Newcastle start to build from the back again, back on the halfway line. Ritchie slowing the game down. Long ball over the top, but it's cleared again by the Blackburn back four. Newcastle managed to regain possession though.
We've definitely stepped it up in the last 15 minutes. The intensity seems to be there for us.
They must have heard we're criticising them, didn't they?
Yeah.
They haven't got the fan noise on. They've got the podcast on, playing around the stadium and heard us calling them out.
On the halfway line, just to paint a picture of St James's Park for those of you not watching it, it's got there was an advert for Tomahawk's Steakhouse, which isn't one of Mike Ashley's businesses, but that is where Mike Ashley took all the players and Steve Bruce for a steak the other night, and that was reported in the local papers today, talking about the summit that they had, and it's the kind of words that they use in these papers. But they were talking essentially about what Steve Bruce had been chatting to Mike Ashley about. It was all or nothing, but yeah, just thought Tomahawk's obviously got a nice free advert in there, so it must have been all free steaks. Mike Ashley probably
Very
didn't
nice.
There's always a deal, isn't there?
Yeah.
I hope we see Hendrick in the middle of the park in the second half.
Yeah,
where he wants to. That's where he wants to play, isn't it? In the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Howard Roberts is asking about Barlaser. Yes, he looks a player. I've got to be honest. I've watched a little bit of him. Yeah.
You went to school with him. I went to school with him. He was 3 years younger than me. So see, I was year 11 last year of Hooter Gate. That's where I went. Oh, it's no longer open. He would have been year 8, and he used to run rings round us, and we had players playing for the likes of Middlesbrough and the likes, and he was run rings round them. So he is a player. He used to play for
free kick the Blackburn, just outside the area. Obviously looking at trying to capitalise here. It's a long ball in, easily collected by Mark Gillespie. Won't have many easier saves than that. Mark Gillespie, who used to be on the buses. The Back Page is a well-known shop in Newcastle. Sells a lot of the books that I write, actually. But the Back Page, Mick Edmondson runs a coach service from there. Other coach services are available. But Mark Gillespie used to get on the buses and used to travel to watch. Long ball in again. Newcastle.
That was a great ball in. But where's the striker there?
Nobody
there. Nothing wrong with that ball, but there's nobody there, and that's the frustration. You know,
wasn't even on the screen, was it?
That in the stands, thinking, I could have been on the end of that.
I think he'll push on
every striker once.
I mean, he wasn't even on the screen, was he, Joelinton? Like,
no.
So frustrating to see.
Wilson would have had a hat trick in the first half.
Almiron centre forward second half.
So what we were saying about Barnes, I think he does look a tidy player, doesn't he? But I think it's I don't know about this pairing though. That's the only thing for me. They're too
similar, aren't they?
Too similar, aren't they? We're missing that work rate in the middle, that doggedness, I think. But other than that, yeah, he's having a good game.
Just going back to your Gillespie comment there, Steve saying he was on the buses. We're going to nickname him Blakey from now on, are we?
Yeah.
I went there a few times, Steve, on the Back Page.
Did you? Yeah, good bunch of lads. And Dave and Kev, who work there as well, good bunch of lads. Great people.
I went all the way to Monaco with them on the bus.
Wow.
We played in
44 minutes played. Newcastle United 1-0 up against Blackburn Rovers in the Carabao Cup. And Blackburn on the ball just over the halfway line, trying to get something started, but Newcastle sweep that up nice and easy. Ball down the byline. Blackburn regain possession. But yeah, I mean, we've gone through all the emotions here in the first half. To be fair, it's a very boring game to start with Blackburn really dominating possession in the opening 15-20 minutes. But once Newcastle scored the goal, it's changed the whole perplexion of the game, and Newcastle hoping that they can keep a hold of this lead.
Well, the game needed a goal, didn't it? Because it was just very boring.
Yeah,
we look like this half. We look like last season, like when it used to take us like 20-30 minutes to set
20 minutes to get in. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Like,
Oh,
That's a
Amir
great-
runs through. Oh, just over.
I was
Just
right next to
over.
him outlising that.
Good run there, though.
Yeah, and another great run there. Almiron's looked hungry tonight, as has Fraser. And like Steve said, they've linked up really well. He looks hungry. In actual fact, the last 5 minutes, he's been the striker, and Joe Linton's come on to the left. And it seems that he's making those runs forward that Joe Linton should be making, the stretching defenders. So, half time.
Yep, half time. Newcastle United 1,
Yeah.
Blackburn 0. Newcastle finishing with a late burst with Almiron just hitting the ball over the top. So got to be happy with that. We're winning 1-0. Richard Willow, you're just asking how you subscribe. Just click subscribe on the channel, but you can also join as a membership. Just go to memberships and click on there. Right, guys. Let's. Jason asked if we could rate the players. So we've got to be quick because obviously there's quite a few of us on here. So I'll start. Gillespie hasn't had much to do. So you're going to give him like a 7 out of 10, I would imagine. Manquillo switched to left back after a successful spell at right back at the weekend. He's done okay. Again, I'd say a 7 for him. Kraft hasn't really been under pressure. Again, I'd say a 7 for him and for Clark and for Yedlin and for Barlaser. Longstaff. Hasn't really done a great deal, hasn't really been on the ball a great deal either. Again, be unfair to mark him down, I'll give him a 7. Fraser being outstanding and took his goal well, I'll give him a 9. Almiron, I'll give him an 8. Richie's been solid and done everything that Richie normally does in the game, I'll give him an 8. Joe Linton, I'd give him a 6. Okay, Chris, over to you.
Yeah,
Chris.
I didn't see Joe Linton do anything. I was talk about a false 9. I mean, I felt lucky. Most of our stuff came from Almiron, so I would just give Joe Linton a 0 and give Almiron a 7 after a 9, and then the other one's incomplete.
Okay, Chris, your Wi-Fi is not as great as normal, mate. Maybe he's whilst half times on, maybe dip out and come back in because it's stopping and starting, mate. Okay. Spenny Mag?
I agree with most of the ones you put on, mate, but I will give Almiron back up to 9, the same as Fraser, because he's looking good.
Yeah, good point, mate. Fair enough. I couldn't argue with that. The same with you, Nathan. What would you say?
Yeah, I think Manquillo's had a decent game. Out of like probably the only one of note out of the back four that looks to have done much. I think, to be honest, Kieran Clark's looked steady. Kraft gave the ball away a couple of times early on. Few poor clearances, but yeah, in the centre of the park's like my concern really. Like they looked a bit sluggish, a bit slow. Second to every ball, like in the middle two, Barlaser and Longstaff early on. Barlaser had a nice little run down the right with a good ball in. But unfortunately, no one was there on the end of it. So he's picked up a bit for me towards the end of the first half. Yeah, Fraser's been fantastic, hasn't he? He's been really busy. He looks quick, makes some intelligent runs. He looks strong, holding the ball up as well. Almiron's looked really busy as well. He started off quite quiet, but I think he's grown into the game like he tends to do. Joe Linton, for me, I don't know. You got to give him like a 4 or something. I don't know. I think if like sometimes the way these games go, like if there's chances and if you're not getting chances, if the build-up play is not quite there, then the very least you expect is to get into positions and the very least you'd expect is for him to be doing the running and to be closing down these defenders. But it just seems to be like kind of sauntering around the pitch and it's just leaving a really bad taste for me, to be honest. But yeah, so I think like all in all, like not bad, but yeah, I'd like to see a couple of changes. But we don't have a striker on the bench, do we? So
no. Joe Linton gets as much as a 6. Yes, Paul, I did say I was going to be kind to Joe Linton for the next 10 games. So, I will give him a 6. You might disagree. Gary keeps updating us with Derby against Preston North End from Mr. Gary C. Thank you for that, mate. Pete, your views on the team and marks out of 10.
Like you said, I think everyone across the back line, apart from Kieran Clark, I'd give a 7. I'd actually give Kieran Clark an 8. I think he's commanded the defence really well. He's looked good, and he's kept things solid. So I'd probably give Kieran Clark an 8. Again, in the midfield, a 7 with regards to Barleza and Longstaff. I want to see more from Richie. Richie's fighting for his place now this season. He's not a gimme that he's going to start every game. And for me, the way I'm seeing Almiron and Fraser buzzing around the pitch with that additional intensity, I want to see that from Richie, and I've not seen that yet. I know he's sitting on his contract that he got in January, but he's not comfortable. And if he doesn't step it up, he's going to find himself on the bench a lot more often this season. Look, you can give Joelinton what you want, 6 and below, any number you can give Joelinton. For me personally, the fact that he played the last 5 minutes on the left-hand side and you had Almiron up front says everything you need to know about his performance. And actually, you could probably play without a striker in this game. I don't think you need him to play up there. So you could bring on St. Maximin and play Almiron up front and play St. Maximin either number 10 or on the left hand side, or interchange with Fraser. And that's a sorry state of Joelinton. And it's not us being overly harsh. It's just what we're seeing on the screen. He's just not good enough. It's so disappointing to see, because you and Liam talked about it before obviously we came on here. You want the best for him. You want him to do well for the club. No matter what we think about him, his performances, when he's on the pitch, you want to get behind him. He's one of us when he's on the pitch, and I'm just finding it so hard to do that because he's just not doing enough. He really isn't.
Yeah. Good stuff, Pete. Samantha L, who joins us every Monday on Ladies' Night, says Joelinton needs to be put out of pasture, labouring about everywhere but the box. Liam, thanks for joining us again, mate. Your take on the first half and the lads' performance?
It was really painful to watch, wasn't it? It was a really, really difficult half of football. I was regretting paying £10 for it at one point, but I have to because it's my job. At least I get it back on expenses. Most Newcastle fans out there will not be able to do the same. I think the only real positives you can take from it, I would say Ryan Fraser's goal. Obviously, Miguel Almiron for that. The assist was incredible. I think he's looked really lively. I talked before on the show earlier about Almiron having a real point to prove because he was an automatic selection in the team last season, and he's come into this season on the bench. And I think he's played like that is his situation, that he really wants to be involved in this side. Ryan Fraser, for me, he's playing on the wrong side. He should be playing on the right-hand side. I don't think Matt Ritchie's done anything particularly groundbreaking in that first half to suggest he should occupy that right-hand side. I would also say Joelinton's performance, I heard you just caught the back end of what you're saying there. Joelinton's performance has been particularly disappointing. He's another player that I thought really should be coming into this game with a big point to prove, and for me, hasn't done anything out of the ordinary from last season. It's very much of a muchness with him, which is a big disappointment. Defensively, Newcastle can be got at. We know that, but I would say in an attacking sense, there are definitely more options. They're full of pace, full of movement. Sean Longstaff's been quiet again, another player who I genuinely believe could have a big season, but isn't really pulling up any trees at the moment. But beyond that, yeah, they're lucky to be in front. They were outplayed for probably 35 minutes. Being brutally honest, there was only one team at it, for especially the first 20 minutes. It was quite embarrassing. But you can get that sometimes when you make so many changes in a team and there's very little to no continuity. So yeah, I think that's probably my main takeaways from that first 45. And fingers crossed, I'll be coming on at 90 and I'll be talking a lot more positively.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is we're winning, Liam, but I know you're busy, mate, so thanks for popping on, mate, and we'll see you back at the end of the game. Thanks for coming on, Liam Kennedy from the Shields Gazette. Dan, over to you, mate. Your take on the first half?
Game of two halves, shall we say. Just because of the goal, I think if we were sitting at 0-0, we'd be looking at a very disappointing first half where things needed to change. I still believe things do need to change. We need to bring on the likes of, I was going to say Golden there, I meant Hendrick and such. I think as it goes to ratings wise, I think I'd give everyone a 6, maybe other than Clark. I'd give him maybe a 7, and that's at a push, because there hasn't really been much that's been threatening going forward for Blackburn. That's caused problems. He's put in a good few interceptions. That's about it. A few headers. I think Fraser and Almiron, I'd give an 8. I wouldn't give anything more or no less. I think they've been decent, but there's a lot more they could do. And obviously, I'm not going to take anything away from Fraser, because, like I say, he didn't really have the pre-season. He hasn't really played since lockdown, has he? So I wouldn't take too much away from that. I think it's a positive that he scored. So for me, yeah, I think everyone would be a 6 other than Clark, Almiron and Fraser.
63% possession for Blackburn. They're ahead in virtually everything. Tackles 1 is level, 83. Interceptions 7 for Newcastle, 5 for Blackburn. Clearances 16 for Blackburn, 6 for Newcastle. Headed clearances 5 for Blackburn, 3 for Newcastle. Aerial duels 1 is 50-50. Fouls committed, Blackburn just ahead, 6 and 4. But yeah, the possession one is it was horrendous. It was after the first 10 minutes, it was 83% of Blackburn. So at least we've clawed it back a little bit, Al Walid, and at least we're winning. The only thing that matters in football is the scoreline, and Newcastle are winning, Al Walid. Is there anything positive you can say about the first half?
Actually, at first, I'm enjoying really. It's like I'm watching the radio.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and from what I can say, from what I get from you guys, I'm happy Fraser also scared, as I said, on Wilson. It's important to score in first. He's not a striker, but he's playing him forward. So I'm happy that Fraser indulged with the team. I noticed Almiron and Manquillo always in Mr. Steve Bruce's plan. They are like jokers. They can play many position. I think he always get advantage of them. To these two players. We're spent the time talking about Wilton. I guess you're right. He should take more chance. But I would really sit with him if I am Steve Bruce, and I will ask him, Wilton, dear, what do you need to play better? What do you need exactly? Tell us what you need.
Personality.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, personality transparent. You're not wrong. We've got 500 people watching. Please do the one thing that you can all do, and that's click the little thumb. If you give it a like, it's good for us. It helps us, get more people watching, etc. So it's free. Please just click the little thumb on the broadcast, and that does help us out massively. So please just do that. And if you haven't joined as a member, please do. It does go towards the system and everything that we use, and means we can have more and more people on, like we do for each game. I think the one thing that's come out of everyone's analysis of the game then is very simple. It's that Joe Linton hasn't played well. Andy Stevenson is saying that he would take Joe Linton off and play with 10 men. Joe Linton needs his bus fare home. Seen enough, says Mitch Hunter. Lots of people really got it in for Joe Linton. Rob Fongan called him Joe Linton. I would love to see Murphy come on for either Richie or Joe Linton. Rob Foggan says, for the sake of Joe Linton, I wish they played him in the same position he played when he was at Hoffenheim. 11 goals and 7 assists, I think, in 30-odd games. Imagine he comes good. Imagine, Rob. Imagine. It would be great. It would be great if he did. Martin Hancock says, lads, I'd settle for this cup. Okay, guys. So we had our predictions at the start of the game. The teams are just coming out again. Chris, how are you still going for the same scoreline? What's your views on the second half? What do you think the final score is going to be?
Yeah, I'll stick with my 3-1. I don't know where we'll take a clean sheet, but 3-1.
Okay, and Spenny Mag, still the same prediction? You've gone on mute again. You've gone on mute, Spenny.
Hello.
Go on now, I can hear you.
Sorry about that, Steve.
Sorry, pal.
2-0.
2-0.
I'm going for now.
You're going for 2-0. Zenzub, thanks for subscribing and becoming a member. Much appreciated. Nathan?
Yeah, I said 2-1, didn't I? I think probably that might still come to fruition. I think they've not threatened us that much, apart from like the opening 5-10 minutes. But probably 2-1, I reckon.
Yeah, okay. Still 2-1 for me as well. Pete, your prediction?
I went 4-1 before. I'm going to stick. I said I'm going to stick. I'm not. I'm going to go 4-0. But there's no way from what I've seen in this first half that Blackburn should be scoring against us. No way.
Okay, Dan? Oh, Dan, you've got quiet, mate.
He's on
Dan,
mute.
you've done the old... He's done the old Spenny. Spenny's celebrating as if Newcastle scored a second goal.
I'm not the only one.
We'll talk about that later, Spenny. I think I'll probably stick with 2-1, possibly 3-1, but I'll stick with the original prediction 2-1.
Yeah, okay. Kendall has been struggling with the feed. Paul Davison, please message Dan. It's not for tonight's show. If you've got something to message him, just drop him an inbox. Al Walid, your prediction for the game, please.
I still with the 3-2 because nothing to lose now. Everyone will play all his cards.
Yep, okay. Good stuff. Well, I've gone for 2-1. The second half has kicked off. Wonder where we're all at now. Pete, are you 45-1? I'm at 45-13 for the game. Am I ahead of anybody? Or am
I'm 45-38.
Okay, so you're slightly ahead. So Pete's slightly ahead again. Blackburn on the attack. That's a great saving challenge by the by Newcastle's back four. And they're clearing the lines. So Newcastle United 1-0 up against Blackburn in the Cup. One thing I didn't do at half-time was go through the half-time scores or full-time scores. Middlesbrough, of course, are out. They got beat up Barnsley 2-0 at home. Millwall are through, though. They beat Cheltenham at home 3-1. Reading 0, Luton Town 1 is a final score. And Derby County 1, Preston 2 is a final score. Bradford are 4-0 down at home to Lincoln City. Fleetwood now are level with Port Vale 1-1. Newport 0, Cambridge 0, Oxford 1, Watford 0. Newcastle are talking about tonight on this stream are 1-0 up currently against Blackburn Rovers with Ryan Fraser getting a debut goal. West Ham United 2, Charlton Athletic 0. They still haven't kicked off. It's one of the later kickoffs. Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 0 is half time. Burton Albion and Aston Villa are now 1-1. That's live on Sky Sports. Leyton Orient 0, Plymouth Argyle 2, Morecambe 1, Oldham Athletic 0. That's, of course, the game that we're all watching, as that's who we're playing in the next round. And Rochdale 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. So at the moment, it's Newcastle against Morecambe in the next round, in the third round. So we'll watch that with interest. But game is back underway, and we will guide you through the second half as best we can, all hoping for a second goal and hopefully Newcastle won't concede and we don't end up going to the dreaded penalties, because this game has to be finished tonight. Gillespie with a long shank down the pitch. Yeah, over to you, lads.
Looks like my stream's caught up, at least.
Good news. Good news.
I'm on 47
Richie's through on the right hand side.
Looking
for the cross. Keeper comes and collects it.
Joelinton went up for the header
Joelinton went up for the header on the halfway. Didn't get it, but the defender headed it backwards. Richie ran through, put the ball across, but the keeper came out and collected it simply.
It was wasted.
Halfway line.
Wasted.
Yeah, it was wasted because it didn't seem like anyone was breaking the neck to get in there. He seemed to have to hold it up a little bit.
Yeah,
we're seeing almost a rerun of what was happening last season. A lot of work and endeavour from people creating chances, and like we said in the first half, nobody in the box to put them away.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why.
You got to think about these games we were playing against lower league opposition, like the ones played against Oxford last season. They must have got off that pitch when they played 90 minutes against Joelinton, thinking we've had a right easy do here, because they'll have had more difficult run-outs every week, like in League One, won't they? Like it's ridiculous, isn't it?
I've played a 30-second half of that game in the Gallagher.
It's the reason why we didn't score as many goals as we did, purely because it's not for the want of trying. But if you've not got a striker that wants to get into the box, then it kind of defeats the objective of scoring goals, really, because that's what it's all about. That's what we need. It's the reason Callum Wilson scored the goal on Saturday. Effectively, the winning goal is because he didn't give it up and he kept he kept himself alive in the box, and he ended up getting on the end of it, and that's what we need. And unfortunately, Joe Linton doesn't provide that for us.
Yeah, 2-1 to Fleetwood. 2-1 to Fleetwood, says Lee. Cod's Army, and Kevin Canada says, "Great show, lads." Al-Walid, go for it, mate.
No, I just want to ask who you think, guys, from the squad playing now should be in starting line against Brighton Sunday?
Good question.
Fraser.
Had to get that in there. Fraser,
seriously.
yeah, Fraser.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Almiron, yes. Fraser,
Almiron,
yes.
yeah.
They're the only two. Really.
Mankilo.
Kieran Clark is always one of those players you can you depend on. If anybody gets injured, you can always depend on him to come in and just take on where he left off.
We have Mankilo in there.
Yeah, did nothing wrong on Saturday. Did nothing wrong at the weekend. He was outstanding.
He's playing his preferred position, which is right back. Yeah, he was fantastic.
He's not put a front wrong tonight either, and I don't think we don't have any other better options, do we? But yeah, you can't. I don't
think Richie's done enough being captain either. You think?
Does anyone know how long Dummett's out for? Does anyone know how long Dummett's out for?
I'll just search it up quickly while we're on the chat. We'll see what the crack is.
I'm saying Richie hasn't done much, has he, to get his place back? I don't think anyway.
We need more from him. You know, you're looking at how well Fraser and Almiron are playing together. They're linking up. They're busy. They're chasing. They're pressing high. You know, I would expect to see that from Matt Ritchie. You know, he should be someone that's wanting to get back in that team. And I'm just not seeing it. I'm really not, and it's a shame.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing though if Richie's not going to get in our team, because he's one of those players from like the core of the sort of championship winning team that we've relied on year in year out, isn't it? But if we're looking to progress and we're looking to avoid like a relegation fight every season, it's like we need the players we've brought in this last week. Those are the type of players that are going to take us forward, isn't it? So it's not all a bad thing that, you know, if Richie's not going to play that much anymore. That's just it means that we're moving on, doesn't it? It means that we're moving forward.
It's what we should have done maybe 2 or 3 years ago, is transition some of that championship team out. You know, the likes of Atsu, Yedlin, we've talked about it before. Some of these guys have stayed too long at the club and should have been transitioned out. And it's nice to see that we're doing that. And you're absolutely right. You know, maybe Richie, it's time for him to become a squad player, just turned 30. You can see that injury really impacted on him last season, because before that injury, he was an ever-present, played every game, literally covered every blade of grass. But coming back, it just seems like he's dropped off 5%. And that sometimes naturally happens and takes a while to come back. But you can tell that there's a difference in his performance.
But you'd rather have like a squad player like him, wouldn't you, rather than someone like Atsu? Like at least with Richie,
Definitely.
you get effort every
Joe
effort week in, week out, don't you?
He falls over. Joe Linton's
Oh my God!
Falls over. Steve's seen it then.
What on earth is he doing?
Oh, I don't know. You think there's a chance in there?
I mean, it feels like he's...
For those people watching, it was a lovely long punt from the back four. Look, I'm going to be fair. I've rewatched it there because I'm a little bit behind, and I've rewatched it again there. And to be honest, the defender gets a tackle in. It's difficult because we've only got one camera angle here. It did look as if he fell over his feet. I'm sounding like a barrister for the defence, but there was a last ditch challenge there, and maybe the defender caught his foot, and that's why he went down. So again, Steve Wraith being fair to Joe Linton. But it was a long, hopeful punt from the back four by Yedlin, and it caught the Blackburn four sleeping. And Joe Linton, I wouldn't say outran the defence, but it was a chance anyway. It was half a chance.
We got
from what I can see on Paul Dummett. From what I can see on Paul Dummett, it was a muscle injury that wasn't expected to take too long. So from what I've looked at, it's probably a couple of weeks away from coming back.
Okay, that's good. Good stuff. Blackburn Rovers 2, Newcastle 1 from Gary, who's been updating us on a game which none of us are interested in, but now he's choosing to tell us that Newcastle are going to get beat. Thanks for that, Donkey.
Has he got a better stream than us? We're 2-1 down already, are we?
Cathal's not impressed with Joe Linton. Trolls is saying he's lazy, plain and simple. Cathal says Bambi on ice. Get Joe Linton out of our club, says Tom. What a complete shambles. Sunderland should come in and get him. That's his tactics, says Paul Davison. Touch it, fall over, look like the world is against him. He's got no fight in him. Troll says that Gary might be on the wrong podcast. Prediction, what subs Bruce will make? Yeah, come on, lads, it's a good one. What subs do you think Bruce will make?
I think Hendrick will come on.
Yep.
I think he might be one of the first. I think St. Maximum will come on, but maybe the last 10 minutes or so, just to try and inject something in, depending on how the game's going. And then, yeah, maybe, I'm not sure which defenders are on the bench, but maybe one of the defenders. Clark might not get 90 minutes, depending on how the results going. So he may come off at some point. Maybe Lascelles, I think Lascelles is on the bench, so possibly Lascelles coming on towards the end.
Yeah. Compliments flying in for Joe Linton. Joe Linton is as much use as a chocolate fire guard, says Derek. Linton for St. Maximin.
That's what I was going to say, Steve. I was going to say bring on Linton, take off Linton for St. Maximin.
Anthony says that Joe Linton couldn't pass water.
Let's get Murphy on as well. Like, Murphy had a good season last year playing at this level. He seems to come into a bit of form. I think he scored like 12 goals last season, so why not give him a run out? I don't think we can do much worse, can we?
I wouldn't put Max on or Keaton for Sunday.
I'd bring Murphy on for Joe Linton. I'd bring Murphy for Joe Linton to play Almir up top, and let Murphy run down the right hand side, Fraser on the left, and just attack them that way. We don't need Joe Linton up top. I think the triangles, the passage of play around Richie, Fraser and Almir on is enough. I don't think we need him.
Newport have taken the lead against Cambridge. Newport 1, Cambridge 0 in tonight's Carabao Cup. That's the only change in the scores that I read out earlier. How do Newcastle look so far, says the Wavy Channel? Not really much change on the first half, to be perfectly honest. There's not a great deal of change at all. Liam Gray says that Dan Fox looks like a bit like a young Eminem. It shows you how much of interest this game is when we start looking at people and saying,
God.
I've just been compared.
I wish I had his money.
Yeah, exactly. I've just been compared to Tamuri Ketspire.
Good save from Gillespie, and another double save from Gillespie from Blackburn. Third shot comes in 20 yards over the bar. So 2 good saves there from Gillespie.
Good to see that, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Really good effort there from Blackburn. Good save the first one, and the second one saved by the feet from close range.
Third one was great.
Always good to make a double save as a goalkeeper. Shows you're aware. Blackburn obviously pied the final ball over the top of the stand at the Leazes end. But 2 good saves. Sulphur, thanks for joining, mate. Thanks for the membership. Anyone wants to ping in a little donation? It's only $1.99. You just need to click memberships and then click join. It's $1.99. So we do all of this for free. So please do that if you can. If not, just subscribe or click the little thumb. If you click the little thumb, that's good enough for us. It costs you nothing.
Fraser's come on. Murphy on.
Murphy.
All right.
You've got to think it must just be match fitness, like for taking him off, surely.
What I was going to say was, in ranking orders for obvious goalkeepers, you would have Dubravka number 1. Would you have Gillespie above Darlow? Like, I'm not one that really rates Darlow as a Premier League keeper. So, what would you do? Like,
personally, I don't rate Darlow.
Gillespie, really. However, Darlow's been a bit hit and miss for me. But if Gillespie is somewhat solid, then I would put him above Darlow. But yeah, that's just me.
Yeah.
I don't rate Darlow at all. I have to be honest. However, I thought he did well against West Ham. So at the moment, he's the one to hold his place. As much as I don't rate the guy, he's there to be beaten now. So the other guys have got to show that they're capable of taking him out the team. Particularly, obviously, we won the first game. He's going to start against Brighton. So fair's fair, really. He should stay in the sticks until otherwise.
Big welcome to Katie. How are you doing?
God, you lads talk more than women. Do you know everybody is actually on the telly? And you're talking about like past games and stuff. Are you even watching it, man?
I haven't even brought out my makeup brand yet, have I? So
I've not seen it.
You've heard of loose women. This is loose men.
It really sounds like it.
Oh God, Steve, that's made us laugh, that way. Loose men. Oh my God.
So, Katie, what do you think? What do you think, Katie? What's your views on the game?
Well, I think my views are very much Ryan Fraser. Well, they were until he went off.
Yeah, you're a big fan of Ryan.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm watching last season.
Yeah.
It's just missing that bit, though, isn't it? So the thing is that obviously these are all the what options we've got. Yeah. So, but I think I'm behind you all. So.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think anyone really is on the same kind of timeline. So as people who are watching, Armstrong's coming on, but he's probably been on for 10 minutes and scored a hat trick, and we're that far behind. But yeah, I've got to be honest, Katie. I mean, as you know, it's be kind of Joe Linton for me for the next 10 games. I've now set a target of 10 games, so I'm not really going to criticise him. But what's your take on Big Joe and his work rate and efforts during this game?
Well, to be fair, I spent the time complaining to the girls that you lot didn't show up about Joe Linton. I was like, why are they still talking about him? He's not done anything.
We had nothing else to talk about.
The only decent thing I saw him do was tie his shoelace. So at least I know he can do that.
Oh. Blackburn in, balls across the box.
Didn't Armstrong score against us?
Just wide.
A couple of seasons ago.
Yes, he did.
Am I wrong? Yeah, he did. Yeah,
no, he did.
Sure he did. Yeah,
he scored.
Blackburn are starting to look a little bit more dangerous now. We need that second goal to shore up the game.
We're
getting closer and closer. With Armstrong on now as well. In fact, it took a deflection. It's a corner. The longer this game goes on, and they've got nothing to lose now, we need to make sure that we're up the other end causing them problems. Otherwise, if they nick a goal, confidence goes sky high, and then it's an open game. Ball coming in. Blackburn defender got on the end, but just wide.
Big thanks to Paul Davison for becoming a member. Thanks very much. Katie's fan club's definitely on. David's pleased to see you.
I feel like I should switch it off and just listen to Pete, because he's telling me exactly what's happening and I can't even see it yet.
Sorry.
I think we're all in the same boat there, Katie.
Big shout out to Martin, one of the Irish connections. He's not on tonight. Good to see you, Martin. He's enjoying the game just as much as we are, but he's in the pub. Probably the best place to be with this kind of with this performance.
Lucky guy.
It was always going to be a slower paced game, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I just think Joe Linton's made it look slower than it actually has to be.
Oh, bless him. He just doesn't know what to do.
Goal up. Oxford 1, Watford 1.
I think Katie's going to realise how quiet I can be.
I know, I've been shocked. I thought you've been on mute all the time.
He's been on mute the majority of the time.
Spenny Mark got told off for being noisy during the first game. I think that's what's happened.
That's why I'm all dark for him in the dughouse.
He's in the dughouse.
We'll do our own stream and be noisy. And at least we won't invite Pete, though, because he'll know what's going on before us.
I don't want to be tagged with that. It's not my fault. It's the Midland bias. What can I say?
Definitely needs a change. We need some substitutions in this, some other substitutions in this game. You need to see somebody come on, but you're in between a rock and a hard place here, because if you bring St. Maximin on and he gets injured, then we're all going to be cursing Steve Bruce. So I suppose at the moment, being 1-0 up against Blackburn at home in the cup, he's happy with his lot at the moment. Ryan Fraser's had some time, Gillespie's had some time, and managed to pull off a couple of good saves. Fraser's got his debut goal, looked sharp, looked well. Obviously gets a little bit of match fitness, but he's probably going to be reluctant to make any more changes, Bruce. I'd be surprised if he does. And like we said right at the start, he hasn't got anybody, to really change it up front. That's the big concern.
Yeah, we don't want to run any injuries, do we? Because it look like the style of this team that we've got out now compared to Saturday nights, it's just night and day, isn't it? So we don't want.
It's all about the result, not the goals, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd like to see Atsu on, but like Pete said before, is it possible that he's there could be a deal in the offing and they'd be reluctant to put him on in case he gets injured, But there again, why would you have him on the bench? Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
true.
Right, like Celtic, isn't it? Atsu, is it Celtic?
Yeah, there's a supposed thing. Liam was talking about that before the game, being linked with Scotland, but the problem could be the wages. Atsu's on a decent, he is actually on a decent wage at Newcastle. It might be something that they struggle with.
Oh.
What happened with their Rangers striker? Is Morelos injured?
Yeah, he got injured at the weekend.
Do you know Morelos?
Morelos. Yeah, I think he was only on. Came on as a sub and was only on 10 minutes and pulled up. I think it was a bad knee injury, so that could end his transfer. Oh, we had two players running in, Murphy and I think it might have been Richie, running in, and on the halfway line, Longstaff just needed to put the ball through and didn't manage to get it through. There would have been 1-on-1, so that was unlucky. Blackburn went up the other end and came to nothing.
Morelos reminds me how much of the highlights. Morelos reminds me a lot of like Bellamy. He's got that fiery attitude. I think he could work well with a Wilson. Probably he's not under Bruce, because for me Bruce doesn't seem to have that. And obviously forgive us what I'm about to say, but that Souness type ego and if you know what I mean, he doesn't have a type to shoot his players down and put them in the place. I think he needs someone like that coached well. But I think under the right manager, him and Wilson could be a great partnership. Someone running off, and also someone to hold the ball up. A Shearer Bellamy type partnership. That's my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. Martin said, evening to Spenny, Alwaleed, Chris and Katie just completely blanked me. And Nathan, thanks for that, mate. Thanks.
Just
cheers.
And me.
The one's out the way.
And Chris.
Cheers, Martin.
And people are going to rip them cards up. Them Christmas cards up.
Cheers, Martin.
It's all right. It could be the best.
Love you too, with you, Martin.
There's got to be someone in our reserves who's better forward than Joe Linton.
What's happened to Sorensen?
Wasn't good enough, in my opinion. Watched a bit of him as well. I think he got his big chance when we played Sunderland at the Stadium of Light, and we all travelled down there to watch him, and he froze in the headlights and just looks a bit like he looks like some of the other players that have come through and weren't quite good enough. That I go back to the days of like Chopra and Brayson when essentially they were put down as the next big thing. Good players at lower levels, but just didn't get the make or break or whatever in the Premier League, and just didn't quite. Chopra's probably the one who did the best out of the lot, but Paul Brayson, absolutely fantastic at Northern League level and non-league level, just didn't have quite what it took to be to play at the top level, But
Nathan, you're having a good laugh there. What are you laughing at, Nathan? You're on mute.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm laughing at Martin in the chat. That's all.
Oh, he's done a spenny.
I've just seen you giggling away. I was thinking, what's going on there?
Laughing at this game.
It's like a virus, isn't it? A mute virus.
With Sorensen, there was talk on the two loans that he went to that he didn't do enough in game. So he was a decent goal scorer, but in terms of linking up playing for the team, he didn't do enough. and any level. Oh, hold on, 3-on-2. Joe Linton's got the ball. He's going for goal and straight at the keeper.
Oh, champion!
I knew it before I let you said it.
Oh,
That's right. I've got the replay now.
How many got the replay? I'm just watching it about a minute behind. I'm on
the first half highlight.
I mean, that needed to go out right, didn't it? Go out to the left, didn't it?
He got the ball and he turned quite well there for Joe Linton. He turned quite well, but just lack of power in the shot for somebody who's over 6'2" and carrying a bit of timber. There's no power in that shot whatsoever. It just drags it along the floor. It was
he was unchallenged. He was unchallenged just outside the box. He should be putting his laces through that and finding the corner. Look, 40 million or not, any player playing in the Premier League should be putting that ball away. There's no excuse.
I was just watching Richie's body language there. He didn't seem very happy with Joe Linton at all. He seemed to turn towards Bruce just as the camera went off. So I don't know if something was said there, but he didn't seem happy with that.
He had two good options either side of him though. Then as well, I know he went for the shot.
He did. He had Murphy out left, didn't he? And that would have been my ball. He was coming in. He was still on side. You play the ball forward. He's 1-on-1, but he just doesn't seem to have the eye. It's not just about the goal scoring for me. It's about every aspect of his game.
Yeah.
Sometimes he needs to be selfish as a striker, but for me, he's not. He's neither. He's not selfish nor a team-based player. He doesn't know what he needs to do.
There was a bit of selfishness there.
Evening, Jack. Yeah, I agree.
But it just wasn't good enough. The shot just was poor.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, it was poor.
You'd expect a striker in that position to take the shot on, especially when he was unchallenged.
At least get a save.
Yeah, or make him work a little bit better than he did.
Yeah,
it was poor.
We talked about this with Liam before the game, lads and lasses. Origi, Liverpool. Anybody take him? Katie, would you take Origi?
What?
Would you take Origi from Liverpool?
What?
I promise we weren't talking about Joe Linton. Would you take Origi from Liverpool? Is that a kind of striker you would take?
Yeah, I would. I would take him. I would take him. I think he'd mix it up a little bit. To be fair, though, with what we've got now, I'd probably take anyone.
Yeah. Okay, Pete.
Joe Linton's through on goal. Joe Linton's through. He scores.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Offside.
No, I'm not having that. I'm not having that. Nah. I'm not having that.
Offside.
Oh, Joe Linton.
No.
Genuinely, the way
you
hit the ball, I thought it was going
Is it a goal? No.
To be honest, it was a very good finish.
Do you know what it is? He took it well. He turned his body. He got the shot away. Yeah.
Quickly becoming my favourite player.
Everybody was standing still because they had the whistle going.
Steve, can you touch your nose when you say that comment, just so I know you're lying?
Quickly becoming my favourite player.
Was anyone else?
So it's offside? Is it offside?
It's offside. 1-0. Still 1-0.
Now Joe Linton's being
anyone else away last season to see Joe Linton score live?
I watched the Tottenham game and I watched the Oxford game. Was it Oxford when he scored? It was one of the lower league teams, and I seen him score. But like I say, mate, for me,
Max is coming on, isn't
he? Max is coming on. Yeah.
They are definitely watching our podcast because that is exactly what I said before. Bring Joe Linton off and get Maximum on. They're definitely listening to us instead of fan noise.
I'll put down the private chat and we read that.
Like Bruce doing. I'm going to know what Dan Fox wants to say.
Going back to Origi, I'd definitely take him. We've got Wilson. Who else we got up front? No one. You would take him. You would, wouldn't you?
I would absolutely be shocked if we got Origi. I'm sorry. He only just signed a new contract after Liverpool won the Champions League, and he would have suitors from all around Europe with what he did in the last year and a half. So I'd be shocked if he came to us. Don't get me wrong. I would take him. I think he'd be fantastic. Him and Wilson linking up together. You've got pace, you've got power, you've got the ability to finish. You've got everything, really. In him playing regular football, I think you'd really see the best of him. But I just don't see Liverpool loaning him out. I'd be shocked.
I'll take Rian Brewster.
Yeah, I would be as well.
Steve, did Liam say anything about that lad from Napoli or not? The Polish lad?
Yeah, he hadn't really heard anything about. I mean, he's heard exactly the same as everybody. There's nobody definite at this moment in time that Liam could say that was categorically coming into the club, but he wouldn't rule the business out. Some journalists are going with the line that Newcastle's transfer business is done and they're just getting rid of the driftwood now. But he still seems to think that there'll be things bubbling away, And so I saw somebody ask before as well, who's making these signings, who's bringing these players in. Obviously, Newcastle United Football Club are. Two players down at the moment. Looks like Murphy is one of them.
Murphy.
Yeah, Murphy's down, and one of the Blackburn
Winded,
players is down. Both
Winded.
Sheffield Wednesday have taken the lead against Rochdale in the Carabao Cup. Final scores coming in now. Bradford City got well thumped at home against Lincoln, 5-0. Fleetwood did beat Port Vale 2-1. Derby County were beaten by Preston at home 2-1. Of course, we mentioned earlier, Luton Town are through after beating Reading. Millwall 3, Cheltenham 1. Middlesbrough 0, Barnsley 2, Gillingham 1, Coventry 1. After extra time, Gillingham won that one 5-4 on penalties. Games still played at this moment in time. Oxford 1, Watford 1, West Ham 2 now, Charlton 0, Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 0, Burton 1, Aston Villa 1. That's live on Sky Sports. Leyton Orient 1, Plymouth 2, Morecambe 1, Oldham 0. So as it stands, Newcastle still could face Morecambe in the next round, and Rochdale 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
Steve, can I just say, right? You make a much better. Can you remember the announcer for the BBC?
Oh, yes.
The most boring voice I've ever heard. You make a much better announcer for the BBC than he did, because Jesus, I used to fall asleep listening to that. He'd go through every league, wouldn't he? Top to bottom, and he would just be like, oh, Jesus, I'm not listening to this.
Pete, we'll give this to you. How do you think Murphy's playing? Shop window or keep?
Personally, I'd like to see another winger come in. I think personally, Murphy will go out on loan. I think there's quite a lot of interest in him from the Championship and in particular Rangers in the Scottish League as well. I'd loan him out. I don't think he's had a bad pre-season, to be fair. But you'd want someone a little bit more assured coming on. If Ryan Fraser or St Max are coming off. It's just my opinion.
Nathan?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've seen enough of him, have we, to pass comment on Murphy just yet. Like I was saying earlier, he had a good season last year. He got like 12 goals, I think, last season in the Championship. I'd much rather have someone like Murphy around than Atsu in if we're talking that kind of position. But yeah, if these players have played well when they've gone out on loan, like why not to keep them? But then, yeah, the players that we've got like floating in and around like Atsu and those kind of guys, they'd be the ones that'd be looking to move on, to be honest.
Okay, Katie.
We can't really go off anything, can you? Especially not this. Everyone's blended into the same. There's no. This is so boring. No standouts whatsoever. So if you're going off this, you can go tonight. But if not, you need to see him a few more times. You need a few more games to actually see him play. But
yeah. Okay, Chris.
I'd give Murphy a chance. I think we need to see people like Atsu and players, and I would like to see him get a chance this year.
Okay, Spenny Mag, unmute and tell us what you think of Murphy.
Right also. Murphy, I'll keep one. Definitely. I will keep as many players as we can. Because we always push the squad's never big enough. Now we've got a squad big enough. You know what I mean? Because of injuries.
Okay, Dan?
Yeah, I would keep him as well. He showed touches of class. I mean, he hasn't showed much, but he had a decent season away, or decent half season, whatever it was, season, half season away. So for me, I would keep a hold of him, give him the odds 15, 20 minutes when needed, or injury based, put him in. He does have something to offer. I mean, don't get us wrong, he's no Joe Linton, he's not that crap, but he's a decent. There's something in there for me, so I would definitely keep a hold of him.
Okay, Dale Wilkinson, thanks for joining as a member, mate. Much appreciated. And Al Walid, your quick views on Murphy.
Because it's a long season, and you will need him along with the season. I'm just wondering, Matty Longstaff, we spent a huge time before the season talking about signing his contract. I don't know why he's have a chance to play.
Yeah, he's injured. He is injured, Al Walid. He's currently injured, so that's why he's not playing. Richie has come off, and Atsu is on. Just under 10 minutes plus stoppages left of this Carabao Cup game, and it's Newcastle United 1, Blackburn Rovers 0. We will take this question from Mark. Lads and lasses, quickfire question. You get the chance to sign 2 realistic loans. Who are you going to go for, Chris?
Brewster and maybe another left back or somebody. Not sure.
Okay, Spenny. 2 loan signings, realistic. Who would you like to get?
Brewster as well. And Rafa Marshall Holden.
Okay, Nathan.
I like the look of that. Aaron's right back from Norwich, but I doubt we'd sell him to us or we'd be able to get him. But you know what I'm going to say? I'll take Super Troy on a free transfer.
Super Troy, Katie, straight to you now. Troy Deeney, is he on your list?
Obviously, he's on my list. Yeah, I'd definitely take him because he'd be a great. I think he'd be a great asset in a captaincy kind of thing. Obviously, not taking it, but giving it some leadership up front. Yeah, and then I don't really know, to be fair.
Okay. It's difficult.
Sorry,
it's difficult. I mean,
I tend to concentrate on the footy.
Not they. Look, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Pete, your choice. If you had two loan players to bring in, who would you go for? Realistic. Did you get that, Pete? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute. You've done a Spenny.
Sorry, say that again.
Go on, mate. Your 2 loan players. Who would you sign? Realistic loan players.
I think one's already said for me. Brave.
The Birmingham, the Midlands internet's letting you down, son. You're sounding like hip up. We cannot understand you. We'll come back to you, Dan. Two realistic loan signings, mate.
Holden and probably Brewster. I was going to say the likes of Ramsey or something like that, but realistically, we're never going to get an Aaron Ramsey at the club, are we? How Sav, how are you doing? Didn't see you there.
Yep.
Oh,
okay.
I'm here.
Welcome,
Sorry,
Sav. You're in. No, you're in. Jack Cooper says, hello, who looks the better team at the moment? To be perfectly honest, it's pretty even Stevens in this second half. Total shots on target in the game, Newcastle 5. Blackburn have had 12. But that's probably not a true reflection on the second half. Newcastle have had the most chances. Yeah.
I'd just say we look the better team at the minute. Us.
Yeah.
We look the better team at the minute.
The main thing, as I said earlier on,
us in the podcast.
We do. All right. Okay. Newcastle is winning. Newcastle are winning 1-0. That's all that matters. Sav, what's your view on the game? Have you managed to watch it all? And what's been your take on it?
Do you know, I just missed the last 10 minutes before I came on here because a big daddy longlegs flew in and I had to try and kill it. But up until then, it just looked like last season, sort of, typical, the goal was good, but it was very sort of they were holding possession and, it was same old up until the daddy longlegs flew in. I don't know what's happened since then.
Where's the dogs?
Well, they are here. I've got their gravy bones to keep them quiet. So, I came prepared.
Blackmail.
Yes.
Blackmail. I think that's what it is. Okay. Al Walid, is there any loan players that you would like to bring in?
Corner taken quickly. Origi, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Origi, because how I can not get, if I get a chance, someone replaced Firmino, Salah, and Mane, the best triangle in the world right now. And for the second player, maybe Holding, of course. Holding.
Okay, yeah, it's looking increasingly unlikely we'll get Houlden. It's a bit disappointing. Arteta seems to be really trying his best to keep a hold of him now. He's obviously got his own injury concerns at Arsenal as well. But, the transfer window is open until October. So, never know. There might be some kind of movement at Arsenal which might see Houlden come, because I would like to see him at the club, I think. And I would like to see Brewster as well. I'm not sure it's likely. But it'd be nice to get another forward in. It is a key. I would settle for Deeney as well. I'd rather see that as a permanent signing rather than a loan deal. He is experienced. He's good at penalties, but it's the leadership that he brings on the pitch as well. He's an experienced Premier League player, and he's got a good attitude. I think he'd fit in well with these players as well. But yeah, we'll wait and see. We've got 5 minutes on the clock plus stoppages. Newcastle still leading by that Ryan Fraser goal in the first half, and what a goal it was. 1-0 up, and all to play for still. Blackburn, of course, just takes, just trying and pressing for that equaliser, which of course would take us into the dreaded extra time. There's been another goal at West Ham Charlton, and that's West Ham 3, Charlton 0. West Ham now securely into the next round, and Morecambe are still beating Oldham by 1-0. So yes, entering the last 5 minutes or so, guys. And do you think Newcastle will be able to hold on, Chris?
Yes, I'm always an optimist.
Yes, okay. Spenny, can we hold on, or do you think this is going to go to the old penalties?
I think they'll just hold on.
Yeah, okay, Nathan.
Yeah, I think like a lot of I don't want to jinx it, but I think like a lot of the sting's been taken out of this game at this point. It feels a bit flat, doesn't it? So I don't know if there's going to be many more opportunities in this. Having said that, Blackburn have just got a corner, so I'll shut up now promptly.
Okay, Sav, do you think we can hang on?
I would hope so. I think you might be a little bit ahead of me, but I would hope so. I hope it's not a typical Newcastle game where we have to go to penalties and things like that.
Yep. Okay, Katie, can we hold on?
I'm declining to comment so I don't get blamed for anything.
Okay, that's fair enough. You've took, what is it? You're taking the 5th, I think they call it in America. I might be wrong. That's it. Chris is nodding his head. Dan, are you going to be a bit braver?
I think we'll hold on. We've got 4 minutes left, and I'm thinking there's nothing I've seen that's worrying us from Blackburn. I mean, they had the good 20 minutes at the start, didn't they? But since that, I mean, there's been nothing either way. I mean, I think we were lucky with our goal because realistically, it come out of nothing, didn't it, guys? And ladies. It come from nowhere, and if he hadn't put that away, I think we would have still been where we're at. And from what I've just seen, that was a great save from Gillespie.
Mark Gillespie, another great save by Gillespie. Yeah, went 1-on-1. Armstrong causing all kinds of problems at the back for Newcastle with his pace. Managed to get in, and Gillespie came straight out, right on the edge of his box. Didn't quite collect the ball. Got his body in the way. Was in no man's land, but the defenders were there to clear the ball behind. Gillespie's now down. He's going to need treatment. Whether this is a ploy, he seemed all right when he made that save, but he's lying down now, and he's getting seen to. He seems okay. He's conscious. He's getting up, but might just be slightly winded. Might have took a little crack to the rib there, but obviously they've got a corner to defend, so we need him to be up and about and ready for action. Other suggestions by people watching the stream. Tammy Abraham, yeah, I always liked him. I would certainly look. He's not going to be starting for Chelsea, which is what Robert Tennyson said. I would agree. Willems, if he was fit and he came back the same player, I'd certainly look at bringing him. I think we could do with some creativity in midfield. I've got to say that I don't agree with Dale on Danny Welbeck. I'm not too fond of him, but again, it's bodies. It's anybody who we can bring in would be good. Newcastle defend the corner, and Gillespie proves that he's not too injured after all that by getting up, collecting the ball comfortably, and rolling it out to Atsu. So Newcastle on the attack with about 2 minutes left plus stoppages.
An unlucky ball through that,
Yeah,
I was thinking with loan signings as well. I don't know if anyone's watched that Spurs documentary or started watching it. They got that lad that they played at right back, Tanganga. Like they've signed Matt Doherty, and they've also got like Serge Aurier as well. That Tanganga looks like he looks like a real player. I'd take him over Manquillo any day, I think.
Did you see that the Rose clip with Mourinho. Wow. No.
Yeah.
I mean, he was strong in what he said, but there were some points I thought he was good in what he said, but in others, I think he was a bit out of order. Seeing he was going to take a Levy, going above the manager. I mean, the manager's the
corner to Blackburn, but we've got some.
Is that Maxi?
We've got some distressing images coming in from St James's Park. Yeah, Maximin's on the ground. He's clutching his head. His knees are up in the air, but he's not looking. Not looking too good. We're just getting a replay here, and so Maximin went down. It looked like a fairly innocuous challenge, but it doesn't look good.
Hyperextension.
It doesn't look good. Is that something to do with your hair?
Hyperextension. I think you need to ask Sav and Katie on that one. I mean, I've put a few extensions in, but I've not hyperextended it.
He's on the deck. He's getting treatment. The referee's standing over him. He looks a bit. It's looking a bit ginger, basically.
Really awkward, isn't he, when he goes
looking at his left leg.
It's only a replay now, isn't it?
Yeah, but unfortunately, the camera's about 200 miles away from where St Maximum is, so it looks like it's a Buteo injury at the minute.
He's jawed his knee.
No need to bring him on.
Oh, yes, he went down. So what he's done is, with nobody around him, he's basically moved and slipped onto his left knee, and his left knee has gone down, and he's twisted his left knee as he's gone down. Luckily, he's walking off the pitch onto the far side into the east stand. Maybe he'll get the chance to come back on, but the good thing is that he's up and walking, but this is what Spenny's grimacing about. He doesn't like to see. There was no need to bring St Maximum on, he said, and that's the problem. You sometimes have to take that risk. Newcastle clearing the lines. It's still not away. Blackburn putting the pressure on.
Extra time. Managed to
clear the ball out, and it's
going back to loan signings. I would take Abraham. A couple of years ago, Rafa Benitez thought that he had signed Tammy Abraham, but I think he was held up because he wanted to get guaranteed playing time. But I think he'd get guaranteed playing time now. So they.
Yeah.
Chris, do you think Chelsea? Sorry, go ahead.
Put everyone's mind at rest. Alan St Maximin is back on the pitch and he's running, so that's the good news. Go on, Dan.
So I was just going to say, would you see Chelsea getting rid of him, considering he was the figurehead for Chelsea last season, like even on loan? Or would you see them as a backup striker for Chelsea?
I mean, I think that they've got a wealth of talent there, but they brought some of their new signings. You come back on the pecking order, so he's playing time, and so he looks like a lone candidate.
Corner to Blackburn in the dying minutes. We've got 5 minutes of injury time at St James's Park. We're about 1 minute and 30 seconds into it. Corner to Blackburn. 3.5 minutes. Newcastle have to keep a clean sheet to get to the next round of the Carabao Cup. Blackburn just about to take the corner.
Oh, straight away.
Ball's in. Blackburn win it, and it falls to Blackburn player, but it's over the bar. Morecambe still leading 1-0 against Oldham. No other changes.
Getting on.
No other changes in the scores tonight, which we read out earlier. So we'll go through them just before the end of the game. But a little bit of time. Gillespie's going to take time. The camera on is focusing in on St Maximin. He's walking okay, and walking a little bit gingerly, but he's okay.
I was going to say, he seems to have like that type of limp, doesn't he? After an injury, like he's got that sort of like sort of a hop to him.
Yep. Goal update. Flashed.
He's injured. Mate, Steve, from what I can see, he's injured, mate. He's going to need treatment after. He's probably staying on for the 5, but from what I can see, he's going to need treatment for this. Like.
Yeah, Leyton Orient 2, Plymouth Argyle 2. That was the goal that we saw flash up on the screen. Yeah, St Maximin, he is a bit ginger. The way that he's walking around the pitch. The good thing is he's walking. But yeah, you're right. He'll get some ice on that, and you'll feel it in the morning. There's no doubt about that. 2.5 minutes to go. Newcastle United 1, Blackburn 0 in the Carabao Cup second round. And
he's still playing. He should be held on because he shouldn't be on the pitch if he's injured.
Yeah. It's just the way he's running. If you're looking at him now in the bottom corner, he doesn't seem happy on his feet.
Just take him off.
It's like a dead leg to me. Might be a dead leg.
It was his knee. There was knee impact. It was his knee. From what I've seen anyway.
Somebody asking if Joe Linton's okay. How's he playing? He's gone off. NUFC 3920 says he'd take Cantwell. Yeah, we mentioned that previously on another show. Leighton Orient 2, Plymouth 2, Luke Edwards' NUFC showdown is still on. God, imagine relying on Joe Linton for a penalty shootout. Lee Stevens just says he's sweating. Why risk ASM? Bruce is a clown, says Colin. I'd love to see Mike Williamson again and maybe Marcelino.
Jesus.
No reason to use a sub now with Burns time and it gets a hurt player off the pitch.
Savas is a bit warm down there.
I'm overheating. That's why the door opened, because I was overheating in here, and then the daddy long flew in, so I had to get him to shut the door.
You're like Cleopatra, you just need the grapes and a couple of people with their families in the background.
You need to get something nice and
Look at it. Fire in the bedroom.
Joe Linton went off, Jack. Joe Linton went off during the game. He did go off. So yeah, he hasn't covered himself in glory. He went off for St. Maximin. Corner to Blackburn. 30 seconds. 30 seconds left. They've done the hard work. Newcastle just need to see the job through now. Corner for Blackburn at the Leazer's end. Players jockeying for position in the box. Corner taken, and Gillespie collects again. And I've got to be honest, if you want an honest opinion now, an honest appraisal of Gillespie, he's had a good game. He's done well.
He has. Would you pick him over Darlow, Steve?
It's a hard question. That I think he's had as good a game as Darlow, to be perfectly honest. I don't. It's done. Well done. Newcastle United 1, Blackburn 0. Steve Bruce shakes Tony Mowbray's hand, and obviously Newcastle United through to the next round. It's great news for us. Morecambe are still playing against Oldham. We'll let you know when that goes through. So yes, well done. Great win, says Tom. Fantastic result for Newcastle. Keeps the momentum going. Everybody's happy, and we hope you've enjoyed the stream. So we're now going to talk a little bit about the match and St. Maximin. We're just focusing on St. Maximin coming off the pitch.
Does he?
Well, he's walking off. He's grimacing a little bit, but the good thing is, folks at home, he is walking, and I just think he'll get in. He'll get a bath there, and he'll be fine. Fingers crossed.
Remember as well with Maxi, he'll walk off the pitch and he'll be really annoyed if he hasn't had a good game. So even when we win, he can walk off with a face on because he's not happy with his performance.
Yeah.
So it might not just be that he looks like he's twinging a bit. He looks like his back's twinging a bit as well. But Sav, honestly, man, I've told you, you need to get yourself a Dyson fan.
Do need to get one. Usually I do this in my bedroom because I've got the fan in there, and tonight I thought, I'm going to have a change. I'm going to sit in the kitchen, and I'm overheating.
Them Dyson fans are brilliant, mate.
Okay, Katie, your view on that game then. Obviously, you watched it from start to finish. Your view on the game and the result?
Me?
Yes, you, Katie, yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
Good result, obviously, but slow. We didn't have the control that we've had on Saturday, which is obviously because we had a completely different team. We knew the pace was going to be slower. We were a bit messy when it was coming to even holding the ball. To be honest, I think we did well to keep that a clean sheet, especially with the fucking amount of corners that they had. It seemed like every other thing was a corner off them. I'd like to see next round a little bit more of a change and a little bit more pace in the actual in the game. And I think obviously I wasn't on, but in my opinion, I think Fraser would look better on the right, and and Mankey as well on the right, not left back. I don't know why you put him with left back. He needs to stay at right back. Really like the mix with Miggy and Fraser though.
Yep. Okay. Good stuff. Al Walid, I'll come to you. Newcastle before Al Walid in live streams, 1 draw and 4 losses. Since Al Walid came on live streams, 2 wins, no losses. Al Walid is a lucky charm. So that's good, Walid. What was you on the game?
Actually, I'm happy that Fraser scored, as I said. I like the second squad. We have a winning, second squad who win for us the game. enough talking about Big Joe. He had enough. Regarding Saint Maximin, I'm really worried about him. I think now all the team know that he's he's the best player maybe in Newcastle. Every team try to stop him anyway. So I wish if there is maybe a change of his position. I hate when I see him try to dribble in the middle of the midline of the other team. It will not impossible for him to cross the whole field to the goal. This will make him face a lot of defensive player. He will get injury. See, every time we put our hand on our heart, we're scared that he will get injured. I wish if he play like Almiron position, just behind the striker. He will not face maybe just the center back of the other team. Good win, mentality. Remember last statement of Captain Jamal Lascelles when he said the winning mentality. I think Steve Bruce working on that right now, and hope next game against Brighton continue on this winning. So.
Gosh, thanks, Al Walid. Andrew Batten, thanks for subscribing, mate. Anybody else wants to subscribe, just click memberships and click subscribe. Thank you very much. Scott Hammond says Joe Linton, the Forest Green Rovers for a packet of jammy Dodgers. That will be a good deal. Sav, your take on tonight's game and the result?
Do you know what? I think we were quite lucky tonight, considering that it's a very similar team to what we sent out last season. You know, and I find that sometimes we can quite downplay it and think, oh, you know, we've done really well. But we should realistically be beating these sort of teams quite easily. But I think just everyone's so accustomed to us struggling and then, you know, maybe scraping it that, you know, it seems quite a victory. Joelinton, I don't really want to mention him too much. I know Katie's fed up with it. But, you know, same old. I'd love to see him come good. Just can't imagine it. But yeah, I just think I nearly fell asleep in the first half. You know, the goal came in. The second half was slightly better. It was a very different team to what was last weekend. So, you know, it was expected to be, you know, a bit different. But yeah, you know, it was all right. But it was a little bit, you know, very similar to last season for me.
Yeah, I would agree. Mark, thanks for becoming a member, mate. You've been a big supporter of the shows all the way through since March. So thanks for that, mate. Much appreciated. Spenny, are you unmuted?
I am.
Your view on the game?
I was impressed by Gillespie, like you said earlier on. I think he could be man of the match for me, tell you the truth. The second half performance. Fraser, very impressed with. I think they might play Fraser on Sunday and drop Hayden on the bench and put Hendrick in the middle. Which shall we? Looking at that performance. Yeah.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see what he does at the weekend. Certainly will be. Obviously, you know, he's rested a few players tonight, but yeah, I think that it's a pretty good shout. A pretty good shout. That Chris, your take.
Go on. We were talking about 10 minutes ago as well, Steve.
Yeah, go on.
About the striker coming in on loan. I think we deadly needed one. Looking at that performance, because if we lose Wilson, we're going to be struggling again.
Yeah, that's a big problem, mate. 100%. We do need another striker. We've got a bit of time to get him before the transfer window closes. As I say, we're not used to doing all of our business early doors. Martin agrees. I think tonight showed that we didn't really have much strength in depth. Barlaser, decent enough effort, but sadly not good enough, and he was far better than Sean Longstaff. So Shredder. Onam said we spent nearly a full game in our own half. Fraser and Gillespie were good. Some decent Almiron moments. Martin Nesbitt says, Martin, of course, who joins us on the worldwide shows. Some say this is a Mickey Mouse Cup, but a win's a win. Into the hat we go again. Think Fraser will come in for Maxi, says Mike. Chris Hall says Sky Sports News just announced that Bale is in talks to return to Spurs on loan. Watching that Spurs programme, it's not a happy camp, like, I've got to be perfectly honest. Not that it's our concern. Chris, your take on the game tonight, please.
I'm looking at the positives. So all of our new signings look decent, and they've all of the offensive players have scored in their debuts, so that's a good sign for us. And I like what I saw from Gillespie. He could probably challenge Darlow for the first team keeper. I wouldn't necessarily throw him in there next week. Just see how it goes in practice, and maybe give Darlow a couple more games, and then maybe put by the time that Dubravka comes back, we'll have sorted it out.
Yeah, David Anderson says, Joe Linton reminded me the guy who conned Southampton into believing he was George Weah's cousin. Yeah, that player was called Ali Dia, and he did go to Southampton. He then went to Gateshead. He then played for me on a Sunday morning when I was manager of Felon Football Club. He played one game and scored 2 headers and then left, and I never saw him again. So, yes, but he was a good player for Felon. Good player for Felon. Nathan, your take on tonight's game?
Yeah, I think it shows like there's a massive gap between obviously our first ideal team from Saturday to this team. Yeah, we want to be putting teams like this away, don't we? I think I'd like to have seen us go 2 up top again today, just to try and see how, because it seemed to work quite well on Saturday. Andy Carroll not in the squad at all. I thought he could have been quite easily been man of the match on Saturday. I thought he was great, to be honest. So I don't know whether that's like he can only play one game in a week, or I know he's saying he's fitter now than he's ever been, but I don't know if that's down to his fitness. But yeah, like I thought we were quite lucky at times. They didn't have much of an end product, which was quite lucky for us. It was good to see Gillespie in the net. I thought he did everything that he needed to do when called upon. Yeah, I don't know why we brought St. Maximin on. It seems like he didn't really add anything to the game. He didn't really have anyone decent on the pitch to play off him at that point in time that he was on the game. So the fact that he's come on and picked up a knock, I know he was running around on it afterwards, but how often do we see these sort of come back and it's something more serious, even though they've carried on the game? So I don't even know why they brought him on for me. Seems like a bit of a daft thing to do. But yeah, we can't complain, can we? But I'd like to see next round. I'd like to see us a bit more of a mix between this second string team and our first team from Saturday. I'd like to see a bit more of a mix of some of those more first team players to get through these rounds with a bit more ease. Because if we'd have gone to extra time today, that'd have been terrible for us, wouldn't it? Like going doing the extra yards would have been dreadful for the players that are going to be playing on the weekend. So yeah, I think we need to get these games put to bed.
Yeah, good stuff. I've kept that comment in from Mr. Jigsaw, not because of the Hayden comment. I just love the little picture of Mr. Jigsaw. It's one of my favourite horror films. But that Hayden must start on Sunday, adds balance to our midfield. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree. It'll be interesting to see what Bruce does. If St. Maximum's injured, it'll be a bit of a disaster. I've got to be perfectly honest. We'll lose a lot, but the way that Almiron's playing, I think it'll be all right. Dan, your take on the game before we finish tonight, please.
First, just on that comment there, it was a win for us getting him to sign a new contract, because if you think a few months ago he was wanting to be back down south, wasn't he? So to get him to sign a new contract was a good bonus for us. It was lackluster, wasn't it? Without that goal, it was getting the penalties. There was nothing really that showed that we were a Premier League team for me. I know it was a what do you call it, like a first round game against a Blackburn side, but easily enough, Blackburn could have won it as well. So for us getting the goal, it probably took a little bit out of them, deflated them slightly. But there you go. I mean, it's just we got what we got out of it, and we got the win. We're through to the next round, so let's take it from there. Hopefully, he puts out a stronger squad in the next round and takes it a bit more serious, like he did the FA Cup last season. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, that game is still being played at this moment in time. Morecambe are still winning 1-0. West Ham won 3-0. Just run through the scores just for everybody watching. Gillingham obviously Gillingham 1, Coventry 1. Middlesbrough, as we know, got beat 2-0. Millwall 3, Cheltenham 1. Reading 0, Luton 1. Derby 1, Preston 2. Bradford 0, Lincoln 5. Fleetwood 2, Port Vale 1. Newport 1, Cambridge United 0. Oxford 1, Watford 1, but Watford won 3-0 on penalties. Newcastle, as we saw tonight, beat Blackburn 1-0. West Ham 3, Charlton 0. Game still currently being played. Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 0. Burton Albion 1, Aston Villa 2. I think we saw somebody saying that Jack Grealish had scored them, celebrating his new contract. Leyton Orient 2, Plymouth 2. Morecambe is still beating Oldham 1-0 and Rochdale 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Let's go for man of the matches. Chris, your man of the match tonight.
Fraser, new boy, first goal. We know, unlike some other signings, he can put it in the back net.
Yeah, okay, Ryan Fraser for you. Spenny, I think you said Gillespie earlier. Is that your man of the match?
No, Katie. No, Gillespie.
Katie. Gillespie, man of the match for you. Okay, Nathan, your man of the match, please.
Yeah, I think Fraser. I think he made some good runs when he came on. He looked strong, looked quick. Made a few good moves off. Linked up well with Almiron. Really good finish as well for his goal. So, yeah, I think got to give it to him, even though he only played 55, 60 minutes. But yeah, I think that reflects the match in general.
Okay, Sav, man of the match, please.
Gillespie for me. I think that actually, from what little I've seen of him, I actually prefer him to Darlow. But only because I've seen Darlow in sort of the pre-season matches and just wasn't impressed. He wasn't too bad at the weekend, but from that, I'd say that I was more impressed by Gillespie.
Okay, Katie, it's got to be Fraser.
Absolutely. 100%.
I'm like that. I was reading your mind there, and I was going, yeah, it was Fraser.
To be fair, though, regardless of the fact that he's just so cute and little, that he hasn't been playing football, and he would quite clearly, but apart from Miggs, he quite clearly literally just ran circles around everyone else in our team, and he hasn't been playing. So, 100% Fraser. Little cutie.
Dan Fox, your man of the match, please.
It's between two for me, and it's hard to pick from them because you can take out of it what they put in. So it's either Fraser or Gillespie for me, and I kind of separate them because, one obviously puts in one side of the game, the other puts in the other. From the little we've seen from both, it's a hard pick and it's a tough mention to differentiate between the both. So for me, it's either Gillespie or Fraser, and I can't split them.
Okay, Al-Walid?
Of course, I would say Fraser, but maybe I add maybe with him Clark. I didn't see the match, but he didn't play for a long time, and he complete a match and clean sheet. So,
okay,
I'll just change my opinion to Joe Linton.
Oh, God. Joe from Lincoln, as Scunny Mag said. Joe from Lincoln.
Joe from Lincoln,
Aston Villa have taken another step by scoring another goal, 3-1 now against Burton Albion. And as we saw there on the screen, Leyton Orient have taken the lead against Plymouth Argyle by 3-2. Jump onto our Facebook page. We'll stick a poll up for man of the match because we'll be discussing that tomorrow night with Supermac and Gibbo, who do the Wednesday nights. And we will be doing Match Day Live again at the weekend, of course, when we have another Premier League fixture. 2 o'clock kickoff on Sunday, I believe, so it'll be a 1 o'clock start. We've all got to get our Sunday dinner. But what I just want to thank the lads and lasses for coming on at various times. Big thanks to Chris, Spenny Mag, Nathan, Sav, Katie, Dan and Al-Walid. Thanks to Adam as well, and to Liam Kennedy, who dipped in from time to time, and to Pete. Great stuff as always, folks. And as I say, everybody's really enjoyed it. As you can see, lots of comments coming in like that. Which is nice. And we'll leave that on for Chris. Mr. Jigsaw says, kept me entertained through that utter dross. Cheers, lads. And I think he meant lasses as well. But great to see you all. Have a good night. Enjoy your drink, celebrating that cup win. Thanks again, guys and girls.
See you later. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Bye bye.